away your caller, Dennis Brown.
Umpire has the ball in his hands. He holds it aloft to start the first quarter here at Noarlunga. Big Scholar will lead the rucks, of course, for the doggies. Up they go. Oh, over the top. Parry actually got the tap down, as we've seen him do so many times here at Noarlunga for South Adelaide. And it was wrapped up, though, by, I think it was Jimmy Gowns that ended up with the footy.
And should mention, Central are kicking to the Colonnades end with a slight breeze advantage.
Okay, the ball at the bottom of the pack again. Play any number of players around it. The umpire might be forced to ball it up again, so take 3. This game yet to get underway. And as we look at 20, almost 30 seconds just gone, this is the third ball up on the Grand Central time clock. Down she goes. Beautiful bounce. Players set themselves. The left-handed tap will wobble its way out towards Thomas, who goes up towards half forward. He's looking there for, a player hitting hard, but the umpire waves play on as it goes towards the pocket. Tapped on again, though, but it's South Adelaide in the van. Coming across there and picking it up. It looks like Clark for South Adelaide. He tried to get the handball inboard. That's a Smithfield crash clanger. We've got now the doggies have got the opportunity through Westhoff. He puts it up towards half forward. The ball will bounce in front of Gerard Bennett in opposition to Danny Shelley. Gets rid of the footy now, close to the boundary line, right on the boundary line, and the umpire, no, he's called play on. A Shell tries to keep it in play, but they can't, and there'll be a boundary thrown inside the 50 grandstand side for the doggies.
Yep, it was hearts in the mouth stuff there. The ball bobbling along the line. No bounce called. Finally, it found its way out left forward pocket for the Central District side, and Parry in the ruck, almost manhandling his opponent, comes to the back where McGlone was good with the hands to Hanby, and Bennett from the right back pocket comes out wide and finds Kruger at defensive 54 South Adelaide. Lee Kruger, named on the ball today, but appeared to be starting as a wingman. He goes short and finds Michael Hanby, who of course started his time in South Australia on the Crows list, playing for the Bays. He's since made a very good job of his career down here at South Adelaide. Nice kick, and the South Adelaide are away and running now through Thelwoods from centre half back. Long kick towards the forward 50 arc for the Panthers, fisted away from Cubido. Westhoff there, that was Lee. He was met solidly. Tawney, though, got a handball out. That was good. McGlone running off half back, kicks inside the forward 50 arc. Well trapped by Archard. Gets away from Cochrane. Handballs over the top looking for Warren. Can the big blonde pick it up? He can. Gets it onto that right foot. No, decides to go for the handball now. Almost taken high. Handball didn't come off as off the high taps it down. And Central through Dew will clear the footy.
Yeah, Dew will bring it out to the half-back flank to McCabe. McCabe on the grandstand side. He's got Thomas running past, but elects to bomb it long towards the 50. Players will set themselves. The Panthers are in the van, and Parry reading it beautifully across that half-back line takes the mark for the Panthers. He'll put it inboard. One-hander there taken for the Panthers, and they bang it up towards the centre wing. Out there is Sampson. He'll run onto the footy. He's out there at centre wing on the outer side. He's had a bounce now. He stops and props, feints the handball. In fact, gives it back here. Taken now by Smith. Smith will bring it inboard to Cupido, who actually started on the ground, not on the interchange as expected, and the ball kicked out here to Thurles. Thurles over towards the grandstand side. They switch play now as it comes out towards half forward. Chance here now for the Panthers. Ends up with Bennett, who's running down from half back. He looks for Benny Warren up there towards half forward. He kept the ball in play beautifully, then puts the ball to the head of the square. 3-on-1 in favour of the doggies, and the big mark taken there by Scholar.
Well, nice thought there, Phil, by Warren to square it up, but it was all the dogs.
Yeah, it was a 3-on-1 contest, not going to win too many of those.
As for Tala, with the long hair, hardly recognised him. Kicks out towards half-back. James Gowan's got a fist on that from Stephen Kenner, and there'll be a throw in about 60 out from South Adelaide's goal. 3.5 gone on the Grand Central time clock, thanks to Angus Securities. South and Central both yet to score, as the boundary umpire on the outer side of the ground, just in front of the outhouse, will bring the football back into play in the ruck. It's Schooler versus Parry. Parry got a little touch on it, comes off hands and lands in the arms of McCabe. He gathered it, handballs out wide, looking for a teammate, and James Gowans on that outer side wing. He kicks up towards the forward 50 arc. Shellard on the lead, got a hand to it, knocked it back in the direction of his teammate, but it's South who are going to mop up here. Little chip kick didn't go far, went back to James Gowans, in fact. He has a bounce. Sets from 50, kicks towards the goals at the northern end of the ground, dropping in there, nearly taking the mark. McGlone. He recovers well, has a bounce, can steady and go with the right foot, kick out here towards left, right half back for South, but up there was Thomas. Couldn't take the mark. Hanby recovers well for the Panthers. Handballs in, sets a task for Big Parry there. He was tackled and lost it, but South come away with it now through Nagel. Kicks up towards half forward, fisted away there from Ilgeston. Well done there by Eve Sivanella as Ilgeston gets the handball out back in the direction of Hanby. He's tackled, but a handball of sorts out. The umpire's pulled out a free kick. It's going to go the way of the Dogs. I think it might have been a holding the ball or a throw, DB.
No, he indicated holding the ball in actual fact. Looked at the umpire there to see what his adjudication would be, and he indicated was holding the footy as a low. Elijah Ware now will go up towards Westhoff Hall. Was he grabbed high? The umpire said he was, and he'll bang it up towards full forward. Shell in front, put up one hand, the ball out the back. There is Sturlis for the Panthers. Fires a handball out looking for Clark. He'll take the ball, gets rid of it quickly back to Bennett. Bennett in turn to McGlon. McGlon now half back and almost centre wing now as he puts it over to Kenner. Kenner now puts the left boot, the ball towards half forward. In the van as Benny Warren takes the mark. Unattended almost. Benny Warren plays on now. Will chip it short. He's got McGlon running down. That's tremendous running. That's a PDK highlight. In fact, it's Archard that's got the footy now for the Panthers. He'll throw it on the right boot. The lead is on from Cooper. He's got right away from Brad Curry. A PDK highlight for the lead, and hopefully for Panther supporters, a PDK highlight when he slots that right through the high diddle, Phil.
Yeah, Damien Cooper, way too much space. Virtually loped him to take that mark. Curry a good 4 to 5 metres back. The south forward set up. Warren has off to Hyde. Clay Sampson has Swatala. Cupido has Curry. And coming in now, Cupido will kick from about 30 metres out. 45-degree angle. It swings around. He's read that beautifully. We have the first sausage roll of the afternoon. It is to the Panthers. South 1 straight goal. Central's yet to score. Just to mention the other matchups up forward. Shell has Carlisle. Luke Cowan has Bennett. They're playing a fairway up the ground. Justin Westhoff, Haitley and O'Sullivan Clark. Thanks to Black and White Truck, let's quickly move it right around the grounds.
In the AFL, it's the Adelaide Crows by 2 points over Richmond early in the second quarter. And in the SANFL, it's the Eagles 3 goals, 119 to West Adelaide, 1 goal, 6, a 13-point margin, and it's 1 goal apiece in the Port and Glenelg match.
Back here at Noarlunga Oval, Big Parry in the ruck, wins it down, going in there on hands and knees was Hand. He couldn't gather it in. Archard working hard. Central player got a handball out, and now through Ware, the Dogs go forward, up towards their half-forward line, bouncing ball coming out there. Cowan got a boot on it. James Gowan, can he pick it up? No, he can't. Dragged off the football. Players pile in there on the forward 50 arc for the Central District side. Coming up with the football for South will be Lee Kruger, and the umpire will throw it up 50 metres out from Central's goal. I'd obviously love a quick reply after that good work there from Damien Cupido out in the lead and judging the kick beautifully as Thomas tries to burst his way through. Lost the football. Gowans went off the ground. The umpire's whistle's gone. It's going to come back here and be a free kick to South Adelaide's Nagel at right half back. He kicks the ball up towards the middle of the ground. Out in front there and taking a good mark was Clark. It was a courage indeed. PDK highlight. David Clark missed a couple of games with suspension, but otherwise been a regular member for South this year. Goes out towards half forward, where a good mark's taken out there by Big Haitley. And opposed to young Lee Westhoff, he does well. Haitley chips up towards centre half forward. Parry's there, but a player running on for a handball if he wants him. He does. That was Smith. He goes inside 50. Warren was caught behind, went the big fist, and off the Hyde's going to get a free kick for a high tackle. Central Warren to get away with it, DV. The umpire says, give it back to Jeremy, and he'll kick over his mark.
Yeah, off to Hyde now in the defensive 50 grandstand side for the Doggies. He'll bomb it along this centre wing or half-back position. Up they go. Slade got a hand of the ball, but it comes to ground. The Panthers have numbers, though. Picking it up and throw to the ground is Nagel. They pounce on top of him, and the umpire has no option but to bounce it. Right half-forward playing grandstand side for the Panthers. They lead at the moment on the RPH scoreboard. 1 straight goal. The Doggies get the score. The ball comes down. The handball flicked out. Oh, clever work there by the Panthers. That was Archard who got it forward. Players diving on top of the footy. Sampson is at the bottom of that pack. Also in there, Stewie Dew. And there'll be a ball up right on the boundary line, just outside the 50, about 60 to 65 metres away from the Panther goal. Umpire now will thump it into the turf. Up it rises. The big men do that. Oh, Parry being hung on to. The umpire didn't see it. How he missed that, I'll never know, but he saw that one. It was too high against the Panthers and going the way of McCabe for the Doggies. So he's half back on the grandstand side, and he'll just ease the pressure somewhat for the Doggies.
Luke McCabe, former played the Premiership side last year, Phil. And he goes short now, McCabe, and finds Schooler there at left half back. The big man, number 33, opposed to Parry. Parry perhaps just getting the better of him in the early part of this contest. He goes into a bit of ground score, but finds Cochrane in defence to 50. He's away and running, has a couple of bounces, and from right half back, kicks the ball out towards the half-forward line. Haitley was behind. He got the best sit, but couldn't take the mark. Central Crummers lead in the race. It's young Justin J. Westhoff kicking inside 50. Tackled well. There was a South Adelaide player as he tried to get a handball out, but it did come out now. And now the quick kick across the face by South Adelaide, and they can steady things down in the right back pocket. They did that well as they find Archard at defence of 50. That was right. He took the mark in the back pocket, and Archard now steadies things down. Going to go out towards left half back, where he's got the call on there from his South Adelaide teammate. in McGlone. He finds him. He goes further afield towards the outer side wing. Parry did well taking the mark on that occasion. Flipped it out towards Bennett. And here goes some run for South Adelaide through the middle of the ground. Up towards the forward 50 arc. Bouncing football. McGlone gathered it well. He's run on very well. McGlone handballs back in the direction there of his skipper and Sampson. He's beautifully run down though by Slade. And the ball spills free. And Central through Adam Swatala have a chance to come away with the ball.
Yeah, you're right. He does look a bit different with the locks at the back as the ball up towards half forward, thumped away by the South Adelaide defence. In there is Westhoff. Lee Westhoff picks it up. Will throw it on the left boot now. Puts it inside 52 on one in favour of the Panthers. The ball to ground though. Great work there by Cowan, but he couldn't get the kick away. The ball still inside the 50 for the Doggies. Showing a bit of pace there is Jimmy Gowns, I think it was, who puts it on the left boot. But no, it's not Jimmy, is it, or is it? He's drilled it anyway off the left boot. We'll pick up the player for you. In fact, it's Stewie Dew, I think. So well played by Stewie Dew, who got that left foot away and records the first sausage roll of the Doggies of the afternoon. So the score's all tied up here on the RPH scoreboard. 10 minutes gone on the Grand Central time clock.
Yeah, pretty open game. Not many stoppages thus far in this one. And we've already had a Stillwell forward interchange. Jared Wright coming on for Michael Hanby for the Panthers. Those interchange benches for the Panthers, the other two were Nathan Toomey, of course, in his first game, and Owen Davey, the goal sneak up forward for Central. Their interchange bench, 18 Jason McKenzie, 24 Adrian Wilson, and 38 Quinton Graham. 11 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central. It's 1 goal apiece here at Noarlunga Oval as Archer goes out the middle off the ground. He went. Bucks are fortunate it may come off, but as Curry leads towards the ball, it mightn't happen, but no, McGlone comes in, lends support from right half forward, kicks inside 50. Wild drop what he should have taken there. Ilges can almost get pushed in the back, and he will. Ridden into the ground there, Dennis Ilges, then he's going to take the kick from a similar but slightly harder angle than what Cupido went from, Phil. Yeah, he's pretty much, in fact, we're going to be right behind it here in the Jimmy Dean grandstand. And South forwards are getting themselves in front of their Central defenders, and to be honest, Ojection should have nailed it. He's not too confident. He's going to come in board now, and he's got a mark right on forward 50. And that taken by Archard. He's going to have to kick from about 52, 53. Archard says, what going to do? He's going to go for Cupido, and Cupido takes a strong mark. Curry was right on his hammer and tack then, but Cupido, arms like a vice to pull that in, DV, and he'll have a shot from a much better position. So they're going the long way around, but maybe a better shot for goal now. Yeah, that was a good grab, actually, because he was coming in hard. The ball was a lot higher than he hoped it would be, but he stretched out and was able to control the footy, and now a very important shot at goal, as you said, Phil. So Cupido, when he's hot, he is hot. Already got the opening goal for the Panthers just to make it 2 from 2. His kick is sensational. Umpire just looks as it goes over his head. Panthers have their second. They go to 2 straight goals, 12. The Doggies, 1 straight goal, 6. 12 and a half minutes gone thanks to Grand Central. Thanks to Black and White Trucks and Removals. Let's move it right around the ground.
In the AFL, it's the Richmond Tigers by 9 points over Adelaide deep into the second quarter. And in the other SANFL games, it's Port Adelaide 2 goals, 12 to Glenelg, 1-1-7, a 5-point margin. And the Eagles a 3-1-19 to West Adelaide, 1-1-7.
Ball back in the centre now. The umpire about to throw it up. Scholar and Parry. Parry got a left hand of the ball, but it actually ricocheted back to Scholar. Or hurried kick off the ground there, attempted by Sullivan. He couldn't do much with the footy, though. Into a pack of players it goes, and there'll be another ball up in the centre. A good start by the Panthers. The breeze, if anything, favouring the northern end. Only very slight, though, as Scholar gets a big tap out the back there, taken there by Swatala. He throws it on the right boot up towards half forward. Jimmy Gowns traps it on cleverly. A chance now for Cowan, but he's wrapped up by Jared Bennett. Goes to ground. The ball somehow comes out. Here's a chance for Slade, who fires at the goal, but there's going to be a free kick coming back. And I think it will be foolish to take the free kick at centre-half back for the Panthers. Didn't see what that was for, boys. And obviously you boys didn't either, because you would have picked me up and told me what it was for, as the ball is now handballed back here to Archard. Archard looks for Bennett, who's created space at half-back out of sight and had a few metres to spare on Luke Cowan on that occasion. So Jared Bennett now with the footy will go short. He's looking for and finding his teammate there in Ellison. He's a long way from home. Ellison, he's almost at half-back. He'll centre the ball. That's fraught with danger, but it's a good kick as the Panthers take it now. A series of handballs ends up there with Carlisle. He puts it in towards Archard, who takes the mark. So Archard now, centre wing. Oh, his kick is beautifully intercepted by McCabe. That was cleverly done. McCabe turns around and fires up there looking for Justin Westhoff. He's pushed off the footy. Umpire had his hands shielding the eyes from the sun as the series of handballs comes back to Carlisle up towards Haitley, and Haitley down from half back, half forward on the grandstand side takes the mark for the Panthers.
Been in it a bit today, young Thomas Haitley, as he chips towards half forward over the head of his skipper there, and Samson, central players leading back. Off the hide gets the football. His handball goes over the head of James Gowans. Tapped back cleverly by the central player there in Slade. Found Ware, and he gets around and get onto that right boot. About 60 from defensive goal. He didn't run too far. I think he's going to kick it now or have a bounce. He didn't bounce it and took another step, and he's been pinged for running too far. And the ball will come back here to Jared Wright. He's about 55 from the Panthers goals. Right on right half forward. Chips inside 50. Warren out on the lead, and Warren takes the mark. Two grabber, but in the end took it easily in front of his eyes, and he'll go back for about 40 out. 45-degree angle, and has a chance to put through South third.
I said on Thursday night that South Adelaide, if Big Warren and Cupido were to fire, they could give them a big chance of upsetting the Doggies.
Well, that's 3 leads inside forward 50, where the South forward has had lots of space on the chasing defender. So the South forward's got a bit of pace about him. Can they convert? Warren is going to be close. South players clapping. The Kangaroo kids behind the goals are clapping. South have their third. Warren his first for this afternoon. And the Panthers, into the win, have got themselves a bit of a cushion. 3 straight goals, 18. Central, 1 straight 6. Thanks to Grand Central, 16 minutes gone.
Yes, and couldn't get a better start. As we say, the breeze, albeit very slight, probably 1-2 at the most, favouring the southern end. That's the end the Doggies are kicking, but they're down the gurgle at the moment by 12 points. 18 plays 6. On the Grand Central time clock, we've played 16 minutes. Down goes the bounce. Up they go again, Scholar and Parry. Again, Parry the tap down. Oh, his teammate was wrapped up, though. Here's a chance. Oh, Smith, was he leg? No, said the umpire. As the Doggies are desperate to get it out. And now's a free kick. It's going to go the way of the Doggies. In fact, he's allowed play on up towards the half forward now. In fact, bounces well inside the 50. Clean bowls well and sundry. The ball's out the back. A chance now for the Panthers. Oh, good reuse of the footy there. He'll end up with the Carlisle, and he'll bring it in towards the half-back flank taken by Jared Wright. He gets support there from Kenner. Kenner now, he uses the pace, gets away with the left boot, looking for Ellison. Through his hands went the footy, the chance for Sivanala. He got it out, but only as far as McGlon, who pounced on the footy off the left boot. It's not a good kick, looking for Warren, and wobbles up inside the 50, almost to the 50. Warren tries to pick it up, gets the handball back, looking for Nagel. He overruns the footy, and away go the Doggies now as they bring it through off to Hyde. He's looking for Slade, who's centre wing on the outer side. Slade avoids a tackle, then has a bounce. Slade will bomb a long high ball up inside the 50. The Panthers are there, though, and back and taking the mark is Thulis for the Panthers.
Thulis plays on immediately, comes out towards the right half-back flank. He's got a South Adelaide player there in Kruger doing his best to run this one down. He's tackled without the football quite clearly there by Ware, and Kruger will take the free kick right half-back, right on the boundary line for the Panthers. He looks up forward, kicks towards the 2-on-2 contest there. Hanby just onto the ground, takes a good mark against Mackenzie, just inside the line, right in front of the interchange benches. And Michael Hanby, right in front of the grandstand, and as I said, the players' area, can push South Adelaide towards half forward. Kicks towards that forward 50 arc. Warren steaming out, couldn't quite take the grab, punched away from him. Thomas wrapped up by a couple of South players, but taken high in the enthusiasm there by Cupido. And Paul Thomas will come back and take a free kick for Central at defensive 50 and just try and settle things down. He's got a man loose inside the forward 50 arc. That's Norsworthy, Chad Norsworthy. He's away and running on a South Adelaide player within Cooee. Chips towards centre half back and finds Stuart Jew, the Dogs' only goal scorer. He handballs back towards Norsworthy, who's one on from right half back. Kicks up towards the half forward line for the Dogs. What can they create here? Not much. As South Adelaide chipping in and taking the mark there was Parry. Kicks back towards half forward. He's got 2 to choose from. Nagel took the mark. Handballs over the top there to the run of his teammate in Tawney, who kicks inside 50. Fisted away by the central player, Sivanella from Ilgeston. He was in front, Sivanella, where all good defenders should be. Now the chance for Gowans, who got it from Norsworthy. Over the top for Jew, from defensive 50. Kicks towards the outer side wing. Couldn't quite gather it in there, O'Sullivan. Has a second opportunity and gets the handball out. Big Cowan had to go down to his bootstrap level. Couldn't grab it. South have another opportunity now as they come away in towards the middle of the ground. McGlone nearly took the mark, but it was fisted away from him. And Ware does well for Central to Cochrane. Thought about kicking it, but gave to Stewie Jew, who powers the ball inside 50. Over the head there of Shell, falls to the back, and Thulis can gather it in and handball over the top for South Adelaide, where he's got a man loose, and they can go from defence.
Yeah, that player, I think, was Hately, chipped it into the centre, tapped on by Parry, comes back there to his teammate. That was Surlis. Surlis ends up with the footy by a handball from Hanby. Now it comes to Kenner. He'll have a bounce as he goes with a handball inboard to Smith. Smith breaks away, has a bounce. He'll run towards 50. He'll run inside 50, but he's lost it. No, he's got it back to McGlon. McGlon turns around and fires a high ball in towards full forward. The high flyers set themselves. The ball tapped towards the boundary line. Who's going to be first there? They go in hard. Archard was for the Panthers, but he couldn't control the footy over the boundary line for throw-in in the right full forward pocket.
They've had a couple of interchanges, right off and Hately back on, and Central have changed their rucks. So Mackenzie in and Scholar off those thanks to Stillwell forward.
Ball comes spinning back into play, almost 20 minutes, almost into time on the Grand Central time clock as Slade takes that ball tapped down by Mackenzie. He'll wobble the ball up inside the square, in fact, almost towards centre wing on the outer side, taken by Clark. He gets support from Bennett. Bennett runs through the centre now, sinks the slip. It's a shocking kick off the boot. Nobody could mark that in 100 years. As it comes out the back, here's a chance now for the Panthers. Comes to Cupido. He'll try and get back onto the left boot. Will he? He will, and there's a Guernsey out loose, and that's Smith who takes the mark for the Panthers out there at centre wing, actually between centre wing and half forward on the outer side.
Another change, the veteran Clay Sampson off, and first gamer Nathan Toomey on, number 22 for the Panthers.
Thanks to Stillwell forward as the ball comes up towards half forward, stumped away there from off to high. There's in there is Sibanala. He falls over as the ball is forced over the boundary line for another throw in left full forward pocket for the Panthers.
21 minutes gone, thanks to Grand Central. Ball in that left forward pocket for South Adelaide. They've scored 3 straight.
We've got another footy on the field too.
We do, which is always dangerous. As Parry won that one down. Didn't go very far. Slade dropped it as he went to ground. Cupido barrels his way through. Slade stops him though. Gets a little kick away to Matty Slade, hoping to find touch. And he won't because it's picked up there by Westhoff. That's Lee Westhoff. He gives to Thomas. And now Central can clear it properly out towards that outer side wing. Cowan in the van almost took the mark against Bennett, but it bobbled out at the last minute. It's out of bounds, outer side of the ground. 21.5 gone. South 3 straight. Central 1 straight, thanks to Grand Central.
What if a player picks up the other ball and kicks a goal?
Well, it's painted blue and white, so they'd probably better tell the difference.
Yeah, you hope so. It would be an interesting one, though.
And it's half the size.
It is true. Is too. As the handball out there from South Adelaide came the way of Smith to Archer. Gives it back towards Hanby. What can he do out there on that outer side wing? Kicks up towards centre half forward. Oh, good kick, and Parry comes out. Great mark. PDK highlight, as we say it in unison, and it certainly was. Parry on his hands and knees. He gave to McGlone. He goes inside 50. Almost on the PDK height as Parry flew high. At the back, Cupido. Squares it up unselfishly. Just fisted away there from Kruger at the last minute by the Central player in Slade.
Osterheide hasn't got up yet.
And Osterheide hasn't got up as Quatala comes out towards left half back where McCabe takes the mark.
And in fact, the trainer calling for a stretcher, so play will stop shortly.
Yes, it will. The ball's at centre wing on the grandstand side, right in front of the interchange bench. Yeah, it was interesting when Cupido ran onto the ball. He must have thought he'd done something wrong because he looked back at the umpire. The umpire waved him to play on. Very unselfish play by Cupido. He could have fired at goal, but he kicked it back looking for Warren. But the Central defence was good enough to tap it away. So, yeah, Osterheide involved in that high-flying exercise there with the ball inside 50, and he's obviously hit the deck very hard. And, well, you don't call the stretcher out if the player's not in a satisfactory condition.
It was a 4-way collision, wasn't it? And Cupido was the only one left standing at the end of it.
Exactly right.
And whilst Osterheide does go on the stretcher, thanks to Black and White Trucks Rimmers, we will get a scores around the grounds.
In the AFL, it's half-time at the Telstra Dome with Richmond, 6 goals, 3-39, leading Adelaide 3-6-24, so 15-point margin there. And it's quarter-time at Broad Spectrum Oval with the Eagles 3-3-21, leading West Adelaide 1-2-8, a 13-point margin. And it's late in the first quarter at the Alberton Oval with Glenelg 2-2-14, leading Port 2 goals straight, 12.
And the Osterheide in the hands of Dr. Morgan, who I know very well from many gridiron days out at Norwood, and he is in excellent hands. So best of luck to Jeremy, who now will be stretchered off the field. And yeah, Centrals have had their share of injuries to key players this year. John, Nathan Steinbrenner, their captain, one that comes to mind. I think he's only played about 1 and a bit games so far this season, and now a key defender also down. Yeah, it's not good for the Dogs, and not good for Osterheide. He's certainly conscious. He's clutching his head as he comes off and looking up now and speaking to one of the trainers. So he is moving, and there's no problem in that regard. But I think you said it right, Phil. It was a 4-way collision, and 3 of them went to ground.
Cupido was the only one left standing, and unfortunately for Osterheide, he must have hit the deck hard with his head, and hopefully nothing too serious for Central, because it said the umpire whistled the ball up with McCabe having the football at left half back straight away, and they are now seeing Osterheide stretched from the ground.
That's right, replaced by another veteran, Quentin Graham, who surprisingly started the game on the bench, and he's had his own injury concerns over the last season and a bit, so it was going to be a fairly short course. Not many stoppages whatsoever, but this is the one we don't want to see. But hopefully, he said the SANFL clubs have great facilities. Doc Morgan, excellent in the hands of sports medicine, and so he's in the best hands possible.
Yeah, what happened there? Because McCabe actually kicked it as Stewie Jew.
He did, and the umpire must have called it back. He obviously had whistled play off.
Called it back from the last kick, I guess.
Before McCabe. But kicker otherwise, called it back.
All right, well, anyway, McCabe's got the footy now. Grandstand side, half-back flank for the Doggies. He'll go off the shocking kick. It'll be a free kick to McGowan. He was pushed in the back. The umpire said, no, today you can push him in the back. I don't mind. As it comes back to McCabe, he'll bang it up towards the 50 for the Doggies. Up high, Parry got a hand of the ball. Off hands taken by Slade. The ball wobbles up towards full forward, bounces high, running towards the boundary line. Will it stay in play? Reversed there is Alwyn David. Well, he's just come onto the ground. In fact, he has gone out of bounds, and in that right full forward pocket. I didn't see that interchange. Alwyn Davey on, courtesy of Stillwell Ford, and obviously you boys didn't either.
No, I didn't quite. Maybe it took place, I think, at the same time the stretcher case was going on. I'm not sure.
Okay, the boundary umpire throws the ball back into play. Up they go. In there for the Panthers, it was Kenner. Got the handball out to Smith. Smith now feint one way, then the other will bring it inboard. Gives it to his teammate there who wakes away. That's Toomey now, who bangs it out towards half, well, actually centre wing. Off hands off. Beautifully taken there by Smith. I think he tackled. That's a good tackle by the Doggy player there.
That was like a rodeo. Yeah, let's do him and bring him to the ground.
Quentin Graham was the player who tackled, and brought him to the ground. The umpire said, give him the ball, boys. I'll bounce it. Centre wing on the outer side. Up they go. McKenzie with a right hand, only as far as debut, who does a bit of magic to get out of trouble. Gives it to Kenner. He throws it on the left boot. The ball coming back towards half forward. It bounces. Favours the Panthers. Doesn't know. The Doggies out the back. They're taken there by Swatala. He turned around, fired the handball, looking for buckets McKenzie, but he wasn't in the right spot, and the ball beat him over the boundary line for a throw-in.
And thanks to Angus Securities, 26.5 minutes gone. Thanks to Grand Central on the clock. Thanks to Angus Securities. We're here at Noarlunga, and it's South 3 straight 18. Central 1 straight 6. As the ball back into play, McKenzie in the ruck there versus Big Toomey. Nathan Toomey trying to get away with there was a Central play. Was dispossessed. It was Gowans. Went in again. Now South Adelaide grabbed the football. That player taken to ground roughly by the Gowans boy James out there. Of course, is the only Gowans boy today. Chris still recuperating from his injury.
Pace of the game just starting to slow down a bit. It's been a frenetic pace in the first quarter. Very few stoppages bar the stretcher. And I think the players are starting to feel it a bit now. Can't wait for quarter time.
So Toomey wins that one down. O'Sullivan was good to Gowans. He's tackled well again. Front on this time by the South Adelaide player. Umpire comes racing in on that outer side of the ground in front of the sparse crowd out there. Never a huge crowd out there on the outer side at Noarlunga, but it's a pretty good crowd on this grandstand side. I can tell you that, packed into the stands and around the players' area, and in the pocket there at the northern end of Central now get a handball out, hoping to find a target. Gowans again get it, again wrapped up. This time the umpire comes in and says, we'll find a free kick going the way of James Gowans. He gets up pretty gingerly, Jimmy, but once he hears he's got the football, I'm sure he'll recover quickly and boot the ball onwards as he there between right half back and centre wing for Central. Seems to be rubbing his shoulder a bit, Gowans. Man on the mark is Alwyn Davey. As we said, started on the bench, but has come on to the field in the latter half of this first term as Gowans kicks the ball towards the forward 50 arc. Pack forms. Up in the middle there was Justin Westhoff. Run beautifully by Slade. Front and centre, snaps towards the goals. Bouncing through. Is it? Oh, it does bounce through. Grabbed on the boundary, on the behind line. I thought it might have gone through. It was grabbed on the behind line there by the Central player. Who threw it on the boot. It was Graham who's just come onto the ground and kicked it through for a point. Would have been an absolute PDK highlight of the highest order if we've got that. As it is, it's the first behind. Central 1-1-7. South 3 straight goals.
Yeah, ball taken by Tawney. He brings it down to centre wing to Parry. Already covering a lot of ground is Craig Parry. He'll bring it up here towards Davey. Got a left hand, the ball out the back though as Sullivan gathers in the footy. Oh, it's run the gauntlet, but somehow got through to McKenzie. His handball was smothered, ended up to Kruger. He gave it to McGlon, but who got the shock of his life now. Ends up with Nagel, turns around on the left boot looking for Clark.
Oh, what a kick.
Clark, the ball, that was a beauty around the body, a PDK highlight. Clark will go towards half forward. Illiason's there, he should take the mark, does take the mark. In front of Lee Westhoff, right on the siren, and what an important shot at goal this is for young Illiason. He's only about 25 metres from goal, almost in front Phil Hurden.
Yeah, well, this to put an exclamation mark on a pretty good first quarter by the Panthers. Igeson, 6 goals, 2 thus far. Former Eagle with the Henley Sharks in Amateur League last year. He did have a shot before, didn't have confidence, worked it around, and Cupido eventually kicking the goal from straight in front. This one, 45-degree angle, will kick from about 40 as the players descend, and thankfully no kids or general public too much on the ground as yet, because of course they are allowed on at the quarter-time siren, but should have a reasonable lack of distraction to come in here. Kicks from 40, umpire on the run. That will not be a goal. That is a behind. So first miss of the day for the Panthers. They go to 3-1-19. Central's 1-1-7. The goal scorers, Cupido 2 and Warren 1 for South. Stewie 1 for the Panthers. Probably the big news from that first quarter, the stretchered off Jeremy Osterheide for Central Districts. You're with Dennis Brown, John Nankerville and Phil Hurden. We'll take a break. Coming up, we'll have a chat to Kim Moore.
Up a kick, and remarkably, O'Sullivan is yet to pick up a kick for the Doggies. So that in itself is an amazing stat.
Yeah, spot on. So South Adelaide had the best of the first quarter into a slight breeze. What can they do with it? To find out, here's Dennis Brown.
Umpire throws the ball up, Scholar and Parry. Parry again, the tap to Kenner. His attempted handball was smothered. Coming in as Lee Westhoff. He got a handball to Scholar, but it caught him by surprise, and he dropped it. Out it came to Parry. He dropped it also. Recovers well. Now in goes Lee Westhoff again. Picks up the footy and drives it forward. A wobbly old kick. No one will mark that. Out it comes the back of the pack to Bennett. He gives it to Hately. Hately turns around and fires a long bomb out towards centre wing. Elijah Ware is there, though, for the Doggies, and running the same way as the footy takes the mark. Then his kick's an absolute Barry Crocker looking there for James Gowan. He'll get the handball to McCabe. Right on the 50 now, McCabe will put it into the lead there of Shell. Will he get his first mark for the day? He will. And he'll go back and have his first shot on goal for the Doggies.
Yeah, Daniel Shell, 13 goals, 10 for the year. He's only played, I think, for 2 games so far. He was a bit off target, 4 goals, 6 last game against the Roosters. He's right in front of the RPH scoreboard and the Grand Central time clock. Distance not a problem, accuracy maybe and is, and has sprayed that to the right. So Central's their second behind. They go to 1-2-8. South Adelaide 3-1-19. 11-point footy game. 1 minute gone thanks to Grand Central.
I reckon it was about the first clear mark inside 50 Central have got all day, with Shell coming out on the lead as Clark goes out towards half-back, fisted away from the South player there by a couple of Central Districts boys, picked up tight on the line by Wright for the Panthers, kicks back towards half-back, and it will come off. Is out there taking the mark is little pocket rocket, Mr. Archard. He's got a partner in crime there in Kenner, we know well, but these two just dominating for South Adelaide in the midfield at the early stages of this season. Ball on the outer side wing. Central player under pressure, couldn't pick it up. Ilgerson, well up from centre-half forward. He could, but he's wrapped up well there by a couple of Central players, and there'll be a bounce outer side wing thanks to Grand Central. We've gone almost 2 minutes in this second term. We're here thanks to Angus Security, RPH footballers. The Panthers won it down, but only as far as the Dogs. Player dispossessed on the tackle was James Gowan. That's happened a couple of times actually today. James Gowan has got the ball and found himself absolutely gang tackled by about 2 or 3 South boys. So they're very hot on Jim Gowans, as you would expect. There's one down by Thomas up in the ruck. Interesting choice, but it worked out as taking it at half forward there was Gowans. He gave in the direction of McCabe, who got it back to Gowans and back to McCabe, so a couple of 1-2s there inside 50. He's trying to mop it up there was Tawney, does well, but he's tackled almost too high by Jew. Ball spills free. Carlisle picks it up. Alipati Carlisle taken to ground on the line. Again, the ball keeps going. The umpire lets it play. Tawney had it. Finally, the ball will be wrapped up, and with that play, a couple of Central players grabbing him, there'll be a bounce. Left forward pocket for Central.
Up she goes in that left full forward pocket. Big thump by Tawney. The ball somehow wobbles out towards Jared White. He's trapped though. Right, I should have said, as it comes now to Smith. He's met high. A player there grabbed one, not in possession for the Doggies. Umpire didn't see it. Comes back to Jared Wright. He's wrapped up. The ball spills out the back. Here's a chance for the Doggies. Elijah Ware got the handball, but finally the Panthers will emerge with the footy as it comes to Clark. He'll bring it inboard to Archard. Archard gets support from McGlom. McGlom now will go short. The lead on from Cupido, a mile in front of his opponent on this occasion. Looks like, I think it's Cochrane it is too, as it goes up towards half forward. Out the back, chance for Nagel. Throw to him on the left boot. Will it come back with the breeze? No, it won't. Just stayed on its trajectory through that goal and behind post on the left side for the minor score to South Adelaide. They go to 3 goals to 20 on the RPH scoreboard. The Doggies 1-2-8.
Well, that was a little shelter they've got erected out there in the right forward pocket at the north end. No one's under it today. They don't need it, but there's all that expanse of ground. There's a nice little tin shed type shelter.
All you need's the barbecue.
Exactly right. Cochrane takes the mark, still deep in defence of 50, comes out wide towards half back. and finds his teammate there in Swatala. Well, that kick's going to be tight on the line, and that's out of bounds on the full. It bounced inside, but then Big Sivanella leading in the race to the ball, bounced off his shins and out of bounds on the full.
I thought it lobbed in, but anyway.
It did, but then it came off the boot.
Yeah, it came off the boot of Sivanella as he ran through his carry towards half forward. Confused everyone here at Noarlunga, I can tell you. Everyone's droning in, asking why. Central mopping up in defence now. Cochrane to Norsworthy to Thomas. Too much handball perhaps. Cochrane again under pressure, got a kick out. Getting a hand on it was Smith for South. Swatala working hard against him. Top of the line. Well done, Matthew Smith. Found McGlone. Goes back inside defence. He gives up round to Wilgerson. Gives it across to Nagel. They can have a shot on goal here so they can get it to boot. They can't, but now it comes to Warren, who is also under pressure. Goes over the top to Kruger, who from the right forward pocket fires on the goal. And after about 7 or 8 handballs and much indecision, South have finally got the ball through the big stick for their fourth goal of the afternoon. They go to 4-2-26. Central 1-2-8. Thanks to Grand Central, we played almost 5 minutes, but it was hard work there, Phil. But in the end, Kruger was the man.
Yeah, and it was just a case of would they stuff it up?
Yeah.
I mean, South are having all the run at the moment, and they're starting to get some reward on the scoreboard, a 3-goal break. Like the play of Nigel there, he got the ball and showing a little bit of confidence, just broke the tackle and charged forward, which freed up the open man. It took a while for it to work, but eventually Kruger was that. Snapped truly, and the Panthers now 3-goal margin.
Umpire throws the ball up in the centre. Up they go. Parry again, the tap. Oh, did it superbly. Gave it down to right. Right's left foot going up towards half forward. Cupido again, a mile in front of his opponent, Cochrane. Was Curry in the first quarter. Now it's Cochrane, and he can make the distance here because he's a prodigious kick. And there goes the long left foot. It's going to almost lob it. Is it to Benny Warren? No, the umpire has he paid it. We'll wait on the umpire's adjudication.
It's got to be a mark or a goal.
Yeah, it's a mark to Benny Warren. So the two forward powerhouses for the Panthers. Lots of P's there. And the Doggies will be peeing if they don't pick up the Panthers at the moment because they are on fire.
Yeah, as Warren goes in and kicks the goal. So South still in the space for a minute now, a 4-goal margin, the biggest of the game. Centrals have restructured their defence. Of course, Afterhide stretched it off. So Corey's gone off with Cupido, gone to Warren, and missed it on that 1-to-1 contest. And what's happened with Cupido is that Cochrane's gone on to him. So we've seen Cupido get in the action. We've seen Warren get into the action in that play. So that injury to Afterhide is starting to cause some issues for the Central District defence.
I think it certainly is, and Afterhide a very good key defender, as we know, and has sort of a player who does his job week in, week out without a lot of fuss, but he is a very useful player, and they are missing him as the ball back in the middle at Noarlunga. South doing well, as they haven't let their forms in that first quarter slip. Trying to come through there was right, as the umpire calls play on for a free kick. Advantage played the way of the dog. Felt right may have thrown it. Thomas kicks up towards the forward 50 arc. Off hands there. Central players lead in numbers. Slade goes up towards the forward 50 arc, but it will dribble out of bounds in the right forward pocket for Central, beating out Tawney and James Gowans. And with 7 minutes gone, thanks to Angus Securities, with South by a margin of 4 straight goals, there'll be a throw-in in this right forward pocket at the southern end of the ground at Noarlunga Oval. Umpire brings it back in, streaming out in front of the ruck is Parry. Got a fist down on it, coming through Gowans. Again, he's gang tackled. Got it out to O'Sullivan. He snaps towards the goals. How's this going to bounce? Keeps bouncing straight and goes through for one behind. So Central 1-3-9 on the Grand Central scoreboard. South 5-2-32. 7.5 minutes gone, second term.
Yeah, Clark now will get the handball out, gives it to Haitley. Haitley will go over the top there looking for Kruger. Kruger outside the defensive 50, goes to centre wing and finds his teammate out there. That looks like Carlisle way out there for the Panthers, as he's got the ball backward of centre wing. So Carlisle now will chip it short. He's looking for Wright, who's certainly come into the game in this particular quarter, in the latter stages of the first quarter. Jared Wright now. Very good two-sided player. Throws it on the right boot up towards the long lead of Warren, who got up high. The ball out the back. The Panthers have got it. Ellison will go looking for Cupido. Oh, the doggy player dropped the ball. Talk about a Smithfield crash hanger. That was Stewie Cochrane. And then a PDK highlight for Cupido. He's drilled his 3rd goal. The Panthers race away. They go to 6 goals to 38. The Doggies 1-3-9 on the RP8 scoreboard. 8 minutes gone on the Grand Central time clock, courtesy of Black and White Truck. Let's move it right around the ground.
In the AFL, it's Richmond 7-3-45 to Adelaide 4-6-30, a 15-point margin. In the other SANFL games, it's a cracker down at Alberton with Glenelg leading by 1 point, and the Eagles are leading West Adelaide by 21 points early in the second term.
Back here at Noarlunga Oval, thanks to Angus Securities, it's South 6-2-38, Central 1-3-9.
3 goals in 3 minutes to the Panthers.
Very impressive stuff. Goals through Kruger, Warren and Cupido to start the second term as Parry gets the front position. Wins it down only as far, though, as McCabe for the Dogs. He was dispossessing the tackle. They're hungry, the Panthers. Archer's handball was chopped off. Slade got a quick kick forward, but it landed in the arms of the South player there in Fullis. Got a handball out wide to Smith, who in turn found Haitley, and South Adelaide have a chance to come clear towards this grandstand side wing. Bouncing football. Central player looked like he might have been pushed in the back. Nothing doing. Cochrane it was, isn't happy, and says so to the umpire. But there'll be a boundary thrown right in front of the Central District players' race. But what do you think of that, Phil? Looked like a fair shove.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Couldn't have been much more damage if you would probably hit him in the back with a 2x4. But as it is, he comes in with the boundary ball. The throw comes in from the boundary side. Comes the way of South Adelaide's McGlone. He gets a hurried kick inside 50. Bouncing ball coming out there on the lead was Ilderson. He got rid of a Central player. Bounces well for Davey. He's away and running. Make a bounce. Another bounce. He can scroll into the goal and almost decapitates the goal umpire as he puts through South 7. His first. 7-2-44. Central 1-3-9. 10 minutes gone. Second turn thanks to Grand Central. And Phil, this is getting a bit worrying now for the Dogs.
Oh, you say that again, but how about the speed of Davey? Just puts on the afterburner and left the Central's defenders in his absolute wake. No one came over to help, and the goal umpire just coming and had to duck as the Doggies make their change. Wilson coming on for his first run. Noseworthy off thanks to Stillwell forward.
Yeah, perhaps the Doggies a little bit unlucky there. Cochrane held by one arm when the ball spilled loose and Davey pounced on it. So, I mean, they're important little decisions, aren't they?
They are indeed.
Umpire throws the ball up. It comes out the back again. The Panthers pounce on the footy. They can't do much with it, though, because the Doggies are in there, and there'll be another ball up in the centre of the Noarlunga Oval. And if you've just tuned in, South Adelaide 7-2-44. The Doggies 1-3-9.
4 goals in 5 minutes.
Yeah, they certainly have. Comes to Slade from that tap by Scholar. Comes out to the attacking side of the square. McCabe was in there for the Doggies, but the Panthers are tackling very strongly, and they have forced yet another ball up right on the edge of the square. Almost about 60 metres away from the 50-metre arc for the Doggies.
Doggies' last goal, 10-minute mark of the first quarter.
Right, trying to emerge to the footy there is Thomas. He's wrapped up by a couple of Panthers, and that's been the case all day thus far. 1 Doggie, 2 Panthers attacking, and again they force the ball up in almost the same spot, about 55 to 60 metres out from the Doggie goal. Up they go. Scholar chips it back, ends up there with Dew. He gave it to Slade. Slade now to Lee Westhoff. He's got that left boot working now as he goes into the pocket. Coming across is Bennett. Is back here. There was a one-on-one with Carlisle keeping Shell out of the action. End up with Wright. He looks for McGlone. Right there with him was Jimmy Gowns, who somehow picks up the footy. Then gets a handball out. It comes now to Sullivan, who lines up the goal and goes back. It drifts across the face again, though, for the Doggies. They need sausage rolls. They don't need behind. 1 goal for 10 on the RPH, got to get that right, RPH scoreboard, Saturday 7-2-44.
As Sawney in danger of being run down, he was by Shell, but managed to get a handball out. Hanby working hard there now against McCabe. South Adelaide player comes in to lend support. They don't want to mess this up, South. They've done very well, as Phil Herden stated. 4 goals in 5 minutes to start the second term, which has gone for 12 and a bit as the umpire throws the ball up. 40 out from Central's goals. Bennett had a couple of hits in the ruck. Now it comes out to the South Adelaide player who goes with a strong kick towards half-back. Bounced over the head of Cupido and picked up by Cochrane. He handballs along the line well to Slade, who from right half forward goes back inside 50. South Adelaide players stand underneath it. They collide, but it works out perfectly for them because they both mark the ball. Jump ball. Tries putting there. It would be a jump ball. Someone's going to get it. 50-50. It's going to go the way of the Panthers for sure. It's going to come the way of Clark, but Clark and McGlone it was. Well, you've never seen that where they marked it equally. Plenty of time I've seen people fly. Usually they muck it up, but that time both had both hands on the football, and I guess they paid the man who, I really don't know how they worked that out. As South come towards half-back. Mark taken there by Thorpe.
Highest number. One was 14, one was 12.
Probably it. As he kicks towards the grandstand side wing, South couldn't trap it. Big McKenzie got his hands on it, or the South player there bumped and bustled the Central District player in number 24 for the Dogs, Adrian Wilson, out of bounds, and there'll be a throw in grandstand side here at Noarlunga with the Panthers by 34 points.
Boundary umpire to throw it in. Back it comes spinning into play. In front was Scholar out the back, though. Hanby takes it, gives it to Nagel. Oh, good smother there by Slade. And the ball over the boundary line for yet another throw in.
I'll tell you what, the South fans that are here this afternoon will be absolutely loving this. They are really giving it to the defending premiers at the moment.
Boundary umpire to throw it in. Back she comes into play. Oh, Scholar got rid of Parry, just put the left hand out, and Parry hit the deck. The umpire said, give me the ball, boys. Give me the ball, boys. Not ball, boys, give me the ball. Give me the ball, boys. And that's exactly what he's got, and he's going to ball it up centre wing, grandstand side. Up it goes, Scholar and Parry. The ball tapped down to Stewie Cochrane. Got the, in fact, it was Westhoff. Got the left boot with the ball that comes up towards half forward. McKenzie got rid of his opponent. Kicks it up towards full forward. Cowan there trying to take a one-hander. Sullivan was there, but good work there by Clark. He runs on the foot. He's run into Sullivan. There's three doggies there. He drops the footy. The handball comes out. Chance now for Sullivan. Picked up by his opposite number in Turles. They both go to ground for another ball up inside 50. So all of a sudden, the tackling is fierce out there at the minute, with normally a player picking up and being tackled by two or three of the opposition players. It comes down to the player there in Sullivan, but only as far as Hately. His kick's an absolute Barry Crocker out towards centre wing. Stewie Dew will run onto it. Looks a bit different with the red boots there as he picks up the footy. Will go short into the pocket. Oh, great pick up there by the doggy player. Picking up for you a minute as it comes to Slade. An underground handball, and Slade then goes bang on the right boot into McCabe in the left full forward pocket, but not an easy place to kick goals as we've seen this afternoon, boys.
Yeah, and most of them have been overcompensated for and have ended up on the right side of the goals, because basically you're kicking into the wind, so the wind is not going to help you. But he's now taking his time and has lined up, and South seem to have all the holes filled up. So
I reckon that handball was from Jimmy Gowns that under the.
He's thinking about it, and he's a bit indecisive now. He's not so sure. In front of the Grand Central time clock now, puts it up. Let's see what the wind does, and again it overcompensates. In fact, misses the whole shebang, and might have got a touch to it.
Yeah,
it will be a throw-in right next to the behind post.
Because it did appear to cross the line, but it has been given out of bounds. It must have got a player must have got his hand to it. So at almost the 16-minute mark, thanks to Grand Central of this second term, with South by 34 points. The ball comes back in. Slade waiting at the back there. He had an opportunity, dropped it, picked it up, handballed it out. Should have perhaps gone for holding the balls. He did grab it out the ruck. Ware now sets up towards the goal square, but it's South Adelaide in the front posse, fisted down. Nagel was there, ran out of room, and the ball goes out of bounds right full pocket. Now that landed in Slade's arms, Phil, and he played on. Shouldn't that be holding the ball?
Maybe he ruled that he wasn't retarded. We'll have to leave that one be. So basically, back where we started 30 seconds ago, another throw-in, DB.
Yeah, well, exactly right. The umpire throws it back in. Big McKenzie, a big shot over the top. Got a big flip out, but it ended up with McGlon. McGlon will go out towards half-back. Couple of racehorses here in Wilson and Davey. Davey's got more speed. He almost got there in front of Wilson, who surprisingly beat him to the footy as the ball is close to the boundary line, and they take it over for a boundary throw-in. Centre wing out of side. So the doggies are looking down the barrel of Ringo's 44 at the moment. 1-4-10. They trail by 34 points. The Panthers 7-2 on the 5 RP8 scoreboard. As the ball is thrown back into play, down it comes. And chance now for running through there was, I think it was Nagel. He got the handball away. Now chance for Sullivan. Gets a handball. Has tried to get it over to Dew. And again out about centre wing on the outer side.
Yeah, well, the pace of the game has slowed up. Certainly the intensity hasn't. A lot more stoppages now, but South have made their run. 34-point margin. We've seen a few big margins brought in this year, but some hard work ahead for the doggies for sure.
Certainly the case. Up they go. Scholar and Parry out the back. Who's going to be first there? Taken by Tawney. Tawney gets it back there to Nagel. Nagel now to Clark. Shows a bit of speed. Gets the handball over the top there, running onto it. I think that's McGlon who kicks the ball to his advantage, but now he loses it. And the ball out the back. Smith showed courage. That ended up in Nagel getting the ball, but he's caught. Gets the handball back to Kenner. Kenner handball straight into his opponent there in Westhoff. Here's a chance now for the doggies. Comes to Slade. Slade goes bang. The lead is on from Shell, and Shell is marked right on the 50 and will kick from that. No, he won't. He'll go short because Slade has followed up. Good work there by Matthew Slade. And in the old 1-2, he's ended up with the footy just fractionally closer to the goal than Shell, and he'll kick from about 40 metres. Yeah, look, love the courage of Matty Smith to go in and get the ball while the Central players were standing around, but unfortunately the doggy numbers prevailed there. Matty Slade probably been one of the bright lights of Central District in their dark game so far. Kicked 6 goals, 7. Make that 7 goals, 7. And Centrals have their first goal in over a quarter of play. 18.5 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central. It's the doggies 2-4-16. South 7-2-44. Back to 28-point margin. And thanks to Black and White Trucks and Removals. Let's move it right around the ground.
In the AFL, it's Richmond 7-5-47 to Adelaide 4-7-31, a 16-point margin. In the other SANFL games, it's Glenelg 5-3-33 to Port 4-3-27, including 3 goals to Brett Backwell of Glenelg. And out at Broad Spectrum, it's the Eagles 8-7-55, leading West Adelaide 2-4-16, a 39-point margin.
Well, it couldn't last forever. The wind has picked up here at Noarlunga. The beautiful conditions just being changed a bit by that cold breeze. A blood rule has been called on Parry. The umpire says there's a bit of blood there on his knee, I think, and Parry not over the moon of that, but he's heading towards the line now, and I would suspect playing his first game today for South, number 22, Nathan Toomey, the 19-year-old, 193 centimetres, had a run early in the first term. He comes onto the ground.
And of course, that interchange, even the blood rules are sponsored by Stillwell Ford at Medindi.
They certainly are. Stillwell in charge of interchange, blood rules, stretcher cases, don't you worry. They've got it all covered. Now we'll restart things again. Almost 20 minutes gone in this second term thanks to Grand Central. The umpire bounces the ball down. McKenzie against Toomey. I think Toomey got a bit of a hand on that one. Jimmy Gowans comes away with it. Gave to Jew. Had time to stop and look forward as he kicks towards the half-forward line. But back there, taking a good defensive mark, is Clark. Handballs out wide to Gerard Bennett, who chips towards half-back. Kruger, one of the goal scorers in this second term for South, takes the mark at right half-back, outer side of the ground. They wouldn't want to let Central kick a couple and get back into this, the Panthers, after all the hard work they've done, as Kruger goes short to Hanby, still there at right half-back. Hanby is just a little bit closer to the centre square than Kruger was. He kicks down the line now, outer side wing. The pack is formed in front. Wilson sets himself, takes him up with no South Adelaide players near him. From left half back now for the Dogs. Back towards the outer side wing. Got a player there who takes the mark and can play on that. Slade, who finds O'Sullivan. He's away and running from left half forward. Settles from 60 up towards the forward pocket. Bounces once and goes out of bounds on the full. In fact, it must have bounced gone just over the line. And there'll be a free kick going the way of South. No, it did bounce right the first time, and the boundary umpire will bring the ball back into play in that left forward pocket for Central District there. 2-4-16, South 7-2-44. There's a time on in the second term thanks to Angus Securities at Noarlunga Oval. Ball goes over everyone's head. Graham tried to be a bit clever with a little toe poke kick. Came the way of Felworth. He's thrown it on the boot. That one didn't bounce, and it's going to be a free kick to Central. Swatala chips up towards half forward where he finds Norsworthy. Chips towards the forward 50 up. That's not a good kick. And McGlone comes in, takes the mark. Handballs onto the run of Hanby, who from centre half back kicks up towards the half forward line. The fly there from the South player couldn't take it. It was Parry back on the ground. Little quick kick by Thomas towards the boundary line, hoping to find touch. I think he will. Can McGlone shut it down? He can't. Ball beats him over. There'll be a boundary sign right in front of the interchange gate. Grandstand side wing here at Noarlunga. 21.5 gone. It's South by 32 points.
Umpire to throw the ball back into play. McKenzie against Toomey. McKenzie in front, Toomey from the back. The ball at the bottom of the pack. Again, players trying to get it out. Sullivan almost had his hands on it, but the umpire's whistled for the ball again. And he's going to ball it up. Centre wing, grandstand side.
And Centrals are becoming a bit more accountable. That free running space the Panthers had earlier, they don't now. This is more the Central District's game style. A tough in close, then get the open space on the break.
Lee Westhoff actually went up and got the tap down, but only as far as McGlone, who all of a sudden South Adelaide skill level is letting them down. A couple of out of bounces on the setting ball, and this will allow Thomas now to take this kick just backward of centre wing.
And also a Stillwell forward interchange. Clay Sampson on, and I think Jared Wright has come off.
So Paul Thomas now, he's got a lead from Cowan. He puts it up high. Cowan's the ham and the sandwich, but somehow he marks the ball. The umpire said no. I thought he did, but the umpire said no. He was 100 miles away as it comes to McCabe. He turns around and fires it up off the right boot inside the 50. The Panthers have got the numbers again as it's taken by Toomey. Thought about the handball, got the kick away, but only as far as Jimmy Gowan. He goes over the top to Shell. Shell doesn't know what he's doing, so he handballs now. Gives it to Elijah where he should kick with the left foot and does, and drills the Doggies' third goal. He goes to 3 goals of 4. That's 22. The Doggies leading now, trailing, I should say, the Panthers 7-2-44 on the RPH scoreboard.
Yeah, a bit of a Smithfield crash clanger there by young Toomey, and you're right, Daniel Shell just a little bit lost. Elijah, where he's never going to miss those snaps, are at the top of the goal square. So Centrals have got 2 goals in the space of 4 minutes. Their first back-to-back goals of the afternoon, and just get within range here. What was a 35-point margin back down to 22 late in the first half.
We talk about that killer instinct, and there was a chance for South just to really kick a couple of goals and nail the dogs to the wall, but Central getting a couple, and looks like they're going to go again from centre half back. The dogs through Swatala towards half forward. Out in front taking a good mark is a man who's played a big part in this comeback. Kicked the last goal, Elijah Ware. He's at right half forward. Chips inside 50. Shell on the lead. Should mark this and does. Right on the forward 50 arc. It's going to be a tough one. Paddy Carlisle coming back on that mark. You wouldn't think Shell would go for goal. He'd probably try and set something up. He's right in front of us here between right half forward and that forward 50 arc. Probably standing about 65 from goal. Players giving him something. James Gowan's down there. Slade down there. Man running into the pocket. I think that's McCabe. He's going to set it up to that hot spot about 30 out from goal. What can the Dogs Flyers do? It's all South Adelaide. Coming through Clark. Got what he should have taken. Slade got a handball out. Now a chance here for O'Sullivan. Tackled beautifully by the South Adelaide defender, and he's gone for holding the ball. And South through Clark, who's done some very good work in defence, DB, will kick the ball away for the Panthers.
Yeah, that was good umpiring too, because Sullivan did have prior opportunity, and Clark administered the tackle, which was a beauty. I'd love to see that sort of umpiring as the ball is kicked out to Carlisle on the grandstand side. Carlisle now will go over the top looking for Toomey, who runs onto the foot. He's trying to run the gauntlet, but he got the handball away, looking for little Kenner, who runs onto it and curls the ball back off the left boot towards centre wing. Out comes Quentin Graham. Is that a mark? It's a beauty. He dives and took it inches off the turf as he now throws it on the left boot, gives it to Stewie Dew. Dew now will go across the ground now. Out there is Slade. Slade on the defensive side of the square now for the Doggies. He'll run towards centre wing, brings it inboard now, gives it to Curry. Curry bangs the ball towards full forward. Out they come and Cowan. The ball hit him and bounced off, and this has allowed the Panthers now to talk about a Smithfield crash clang as it comes from Cupido. He gives it to Clark. Clark swings the ball over the grandstand side. We're running onto it as Kenner. Kenner off the left boot, up towards half forward. Up they play, and Mackenzie now 2 against 1 in favour of the Doggies against Ellison, and Mackenzie's kick now for Dew. He grabs the ball, couldn't get rid of it though. Now he's got rid of it. Ends up now with Norsworthy. Norsworthy kick is going to miss the target, is it? It's out there. Slade now with pace. He's up against Sampson, gathers it in. Beautifully tackled by Sampson. The ball spills loose to McGlon. McGlon will come all the way back into the centre to Cupido. Cupido now on the left boot again, brings it out to the grandstand side, and Kenner takes the mark for the Panthers.
Stephen Kenner wearing the number 1 Guernsey, playing game number 22 for the Panthers, goes towards half forward. The mark is taken there by Big Parry. He kicks towards forward 50 arc, squared it up beautifully, and Hamby takes the marker. Man in the crowd, it might even be one of the coaches yells out, have a shot. Not too sure about that, but Hamby about 60 from goal will go short. Kenner's one on for him, and he takes the mark. So Kenner, who started this play on the grandstand side wing, will now go back and have a shot at the goals from probably about 35 out on about a 50-degree angle.
Yeah, Kenner kicked 6 goals for this season. Of course, his biggest goal since coming over to the SANFL was the state game, the winning goal. I saw SA over the line against the VFL as interchange again, Stilwell forward and Robert Plowman ringing the changes. Hamby coming off and Jared Wright back on. Kenner now from 45. Heads
right,
behind. Looks fantastic off the boot. It is. South Adelaide have kicked their 8th and Kenner has kicked his first for the afternoon. The Panthers 8-2-50, Central 3-4-22. Thanks to Black and White Trucks. Let's move it right around the grounds.
In the AFL, it's Richmond 7-7-49 to Adelaide 4-9-33. In the SANFL, it's Port Adelaide trailing Glenelg by 1 point, 7-6-48 to 7-7-49. And Clive Waterhouse has 5 goals. At Broad Spectrum Oval, it's half-time with the Eagles 8-7-55 to West Adelaide 2-4-16.
Ball back in the centre now. The umpire to throw it up. Up they go. The ball not clearly tapped by either player as it comes to Nagel. He's wrapped up, and we'll have a take 2. We've had quite a few of those this afternoon.
Should mention half-time we'll be talking to Kim Morgan at Alberton and Sandy Cameron from the Broad Spectrum Oval.
Thomas with a big thump out towards centre wing. Stewie Dew runs onto it on the left boot looking for Big Scholar up in front. The ball out the back though. Ended somehow with Tawney. Don't know how that happened.
Luck's the
ricocheted off of Haley, I think. And Haley now will go short. And you're right, Phil. Luck is a fortune as the ball is taken out there by Kruger. He breaks away. Has time to have a bounce. Will he have another one? He ran a fair way, then got the ball up towards centre wing, off through the legs of Warren. Will he get a free kick for a push in the back? No, said the umpire. It came out in the back to Mackenzie. Gives it to Sullivan now. O'Sullivan on the left boot. There's a couple of doggies loose at half forward, and one of those there is McCabe. McCabe turns around and bombs it on towards full forward, but again their disposals let them down. The doggies, that's another Smithfield crash clanger, and the ball taken by Tawney out here on the grandstand side. Handballs to Carlisle, and Carlisle will chip it short and find McGlon.
So Scott McGlon, left half back for South Adelaide, been a very good player for them this year, running off half back. after spending about 3 years, I think, on the rookie list at the Sydney Swans. As the kick put some pressure. The kick was from Bennett. I think got from McGlone. The pressure was on the South Adelaide player to take the mark in Tawney, as his man in Cochrane bore down him. But Tawney was good, to a good grab, and he'll have the ball grandstand side wing for South. He kicks towards the forward 50 arc. Out in front there was Warren. Fisted away from him. Crew got a little handball out in the Cupido direction. What can he do? This way, that way. Run about 20 metres the wrong way because he had to shake off a couple of men. He did well. Got a kick back towards his skipper there in Sampson. He gets onto the right boot. Kicks towards the goals. Long kick, Sampson. And it has bounced through for one behind. The South crowd went up, but it was just the one behind. They go to 8-4-52. Central 3-1-22.
Yeah, Wilson to bring the ball back into play for the Doggies. Goes short to Quinton Graham. Still into defensive 50. Stops and props and then gets a handball over the top. He found Thomas way back there, still in the half-back area on the outer side. A long bomb towards centre wing. Sevenala's run down, but the ball doesn't bounce for him. Ends up in the hands of Clark. He gives it now to Haitley. Haitley brings it inboard now to Tawney. Tawney on the right boot into the centre to Nagel. Nagel breaks away. He'll get it on that left boot of his now towards half forward. The lead is on from Ellison. Can he take the mark? The ball bounces back into his hands. Gives it to Kenner. Kenner runs into the open goal. It goes bang. Second goal in a row to Kenner. And the South Adelaide back out by a handy margin. They go to 9 goals, 3:57. The Doggies 3-4-22. 29 minutes gone on the Grand Central time clock.
Yeah, one of South tactics this year from a contested possession, they look for a player at the back of the pack, so they go backwards, then they go forward. So when the skills are there, when they're on song, it works beautifully. When they're not, you've got a turnover and the opposition has open space towards their goal. On that occasion, it did work beautifully, and well done by Isaacson then. Whenever you get a forward who gets the ball around the 50 mark, often they just blaze away, but he had the open teammate. Kenner was never going to miss.
But let's face it, the ball is bouncing for the Panthers. A couple of little bounces that went the opposite way, and the ricochet here that ended up with Tawney. I don't know how that happened, but certainly luck favouring the Panthers at the moment.
It is indeed, as Sampson gets the kick from the middle of the ground towards centre-half forward, bouncing ball at 50. How will this one go? It does favour the Panthers again. Kenner got a handball out to Nagel, and he fires on the goal from 50 and puts it through as easy as you like. PDK highlight there. Kenner was great with a little handball to Nagel, who with no problem at all from 50 metres, put through his first. South Adelaide 10th. They go to 10-3-63. Central 3-4-22. 31 minutes gone in this second term, and thanks to Stillwell Ford, we see an interchange there as Archard on, and I think that's McGlone coming off.
Yeah, well, it's been goals and spurts. Central's kicked 4 in 5 minutes. South kicked 4 in 5 minutes to open the quarter. Now they've kicked 3 in the space of about 4 and have really blown this one open. 41-point margin. The best first half of football by the Panthers this season.
The ball was tapped down by Scholar, I think it was, or McKenzie, one of the two. But the Panthers are in there again as the handball comes out from Smith now to right. Right goes up towards half forward, looking there for Ellison. He's got one hand of the ball. Wilson with him. He traps the ball. Ellison tapped it on cleverly. But the Doggies are great in numbers. Ends up now with Jimmy Gowns. He goes short, looking for McCabe. He picks it up on the half volley. The umpire calls play on that. The siren goes to end the first half here at Noarlunga. And what a great first half by the Panthers. They are 10-3-63 on the RPH scoreboard. The Doggies 3-4-22, and you're with Phil Herdman on 5 RPH footage.
All right, the goal scorers so far for South Adelaide: 3 to Cupido, 2 to Warren.
Beat Adelaide, and they're a huge upset.
Yeah, but I mean, as soon as everything's perfect, you know you're well on the way to your first loss. It's just, it's just the way football works.
The mind takes over, and of course Richmond absolutely thumped, ridiculed in the press, ridiculed by their supporters. You name it, they had to respond, didn't they?
Absolutely, respond they will. Well, how will Central District respond? Royal Eds kept them in the change room. What can they do in the premiership quarter to find out? Here's Dennis Brown.
Well, one thing, they've got Luke Cowan in the ruck. He's up against Parry. He can leap. We know that. Parry's left better on that occasion down the ground. It ends up now with Dew. Dew in turn gives it to Slade. He's wrapped up, though, falls to ground. In comes Tawney. Tried to get it over there to Archard, but McCabe intercepted a high handball, hoping more than anything. It's ended up with Ware. Ware now gives it over to West off the left footer, goes towards full forward. Oh, what's happening back there? It's Dancing with the Stars. And the umpire has paid the free kick. It's going to go the way of... The Doggies. Big Scholar's got the free kick. They've got two big tall timber down there, McKenzie and Scholar, and already a free kick to Scholar right in front against Carlisle.
Well, Paul Scholar, 1 goal without a miss thus far this season, and well, that's the first move we've seen Royal Ed make. Scholar, instead of Cowan up forward, and got the free, got the goal, so Central's draw first blood in the premiership quarter, 4-4-28. South 10-3-63. So that margin back to 35 points, and that kick was taken 45 seconds into the third quarter. So Central's on the comeback trail, Johnny Nagel.
Well, it's a perfect start, isn't it? As you said, 45 seconds into the third term, they get their fourth goal, and you can't do much worse than that, but it's still a long way to go from here. Still trailing, as you said, there by 35 points the margin. So a lot of hard work to do for the Dogs as we see Cowan and Parry back in the rucks. The umpire preparing to bounce the football down here in the middle of Noarlunga Oval. Almost a minute and a half gone in this third term as Cowan got his hand on that one. Coming through there, doing well with Smith. He was dispossessed in the tackle. Now Cowan to the Dogs. He was tackled and knocked off the football. The umpire's whistle has gone, and the free kick is going to go the way to South Adelaide's Kenner. So obviously, when he grabbed the ball, James Gowans came in and grabbed him. Not happy with what happened there, the umpire, as Kenner goes short, and it comes the way of Clark, who handballs out wide back towards Kenner. He's got a little bit of toe about him, the little man, as he kicks from the outer side wing towards the forward 50 arc. Up in front there to the side was Toomey, fisted down south, get a quick kick forward to the pocket, fisted away from Ilgerson. Warren there's got two Central players to beat. Wilson had it, handballed it away, hoping to find someone. He didn't. In the end, Central desperately set over the line through Curry. There'll be a throw in the left forward pocket. 2 minutes gone, third term. South 10-3-63. Central 4-4-28.
Boundary umpire to throw it in. Back she comes, spinning into play. Cowan and it looks like Toomey there out the back. The Doggies will emerge with the footy, a series of handballs, and it ends up with Curry. He'll go onto the right boot looking for Westhoff. He hasn't been the Doggies' worst player and takes the mark half back on the outer side.
Central's forward line, McKenzie at centre half forward, Scholar at full forward, so I reckon Shell's been benched.
Okay, the ball now comes to Ware. He tried to play on and lost the footy, but it ended up with back to Ware, but only as far as Parry now, who thumps it back inside the 52 on one. The Panthers should mess it up, though. Trying to pick it up there for the Doggies was Watala. The ball spills out the back to Curry. He's pole driven into the ground almost, and the umpire said he would grab too high. That'll be a free kick to the Doggies now. The handball came out the back to Slade. Slade now, he gives it over to Thomas. Thomas on the right boot. The lead is on from Dew. Dew now running after the footy, tried to trap it with one hand. With him there is Kruger. Both players desperately trying to control the footy. Kruger did best, flicked it towards the boundary, and very cleverly done. The umpire said that's too clever for me. I didn't even see it. And it'll be a boundary throw in centre wing grandstand side.
Yeah, correction on Daniel Shell. He is out there. He's just running around a half forward flank, much further up the ground.
3.5 gone third term thanks to Grand Central. It's south by 35 points. The umpire brings the footy back into play right in front of the interchange gates. One down from behind by Cowan, only as far as Sampson. He was tackled well, lost it. Came the way of James Gowans, who gave to Slade. His little chip kick chopped off by McKenzie at forward 50. I don't think that went the regulation distance. Either way, Gowans picks it up, kicks up towards the forward line, wrestling there, Shell. It's turned around in the tackle, bouncing football. What was going on there? Surely the man's been slung around. He should perhaps be looking at getting a free. It's Clark got a handball out. The South player dealt with, and did it come off his foot? It did, as he went over the ground. Must have just bounced off.
No, I think it's a free kick. The central umpires indicated it's a free kick, but I got no idea what for. Again, he was shielding his eyes from the sun, but he saw something in there, and it's going the way of Danny Shell.
Well, Shell's going to have the shot. Now, the wind will help him here. Not that there's much of it. So for the second time this quarter, Central from a free will have a shot at goal. Shell wheels around, kicks with the right. Will it bend? It won't be even close. In fact, that'll be touched. No, won't even be touched over the line. It'll come to Matty Smith and a bit of hand passing, and the Panthers are away.
Towards half-back where the bouncing football's grabbed by Parry. His handball wasn't a good one. Has to go back in there and work hard, get some support there, but he's knocked away from it. Smith, Central players appealing for holding the ball.
That'll be holding the
And the umpire almost looked like he was about to give it, but he decided against it, and there will be a bounce right half forward for the Dogs.
Daniel Shell just looks to be playing with any semblance of confidence at the moment. Even his game against North, he kicked 4-6.
Right, the bounce up by the umpire ended up going straight out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. So the Doggies have kicked the first goal of this third quarter, the premiership quarter, but of course the Panthers hold a handy lead. 10-3-63 to 4-4-28. The ball comes spinning back into play. Parry again, a left-handed tap, but only as far as Thomas for the Doggies. He wheels around and puts it on the right boot towards full forward. All that tall timber back there, but the Panthers emerge with the footy as it comes now to Clark. Clark will chip it out to half-back, looking for Kruger. Beautiful kick by Clark, finds Kruger. He's got a player running down here in Carlisle, but he elects to come back inboard. And the mark taken there by Nagel, I think it is. So he'll chip it short now up here, looking for Toomey. But in front, that's a good strong mark to Curry. who worked his way to the front and was too good for his opponent on that occasion. So Curry giving away inches to Toomey as he will put it on the right boot now. Long bomb goes up inside the 50. Player set themselves. Shell got high. So did a couple of Panthers, but the ball ricochets out the back. Oh, magnificent bit of work there. I think that was Nagel. Got it to Sampson. Sampson now will bomb it back. Here's a chance for Henderson all by himself. Takes the mark. Henderson will play on now. Bombs it towards full forward. Looking for Warren. That's a magnificent catch. And a good mark by Benny Warren. Great football by the Panthers. Started the half-back. I think it was Nagel that got that handball out. I'll work it out for you in a minute. I've got my eye on the player. But it's definitely Benny Warren now to a chance to level up as far as the third quarter is concerned on goal.
As an interchange made, we see McGlone come on, Sampson off.
Meanwhile, Benny Warren will come in now. 45-degree angle, 20 out, and he's missed it. Oh, that was a gimme goal. So South 10-4-64, Central 4-4-28. It's a 36-point margin. So we won't quite get scores just yet, thanks to Black and White.
It was Kruger that actually handballed that ball. Kruger, I thought it was.
Top effort by Kruger.
As Swatala brings the ball into him, this little chip kick to himself. He's away, has a couple of bounces, gets to a defensive 50, has a third handball to Thomas. Still on defensive 50, goes back inside that defensive 50 arc, has a bounce as he runs across the goals, kicks out towards the defensive 50 arc on the other side, and that's marked there by Wilson. He kicks towards the outer side wing. One-on-one contest there. Ball goes over the player's hands, or off the player's hands, taken by Slade. Kicks up towards 50. In front was Shell, knocked away from him. South have a chance to get away now. Little handball came out towards Archer from Bennett. What can Archer do as he runs through half-back, kicks back towards that outer side wing. Cupido takes the mark out on the lead there. Runs to left half forward, chips inside 50. Space indeed there for Ilgerson, but then he let himself down by dropping a mark he should have taken. Chips to 50, finds McGlone. He goes back to Cupido, loads up from 60, lands 20 from goal. Warren, one grab, two grabs. Carlisle at the back, kicks at the goal and misses.
O'Sullivan, no, that was top effort by O'Sullivan to get the smother on that. He was trying to go for Eilertson in the goal square. Very quickly, a score back in the studios, Michael, very quickly.
Yep, in the AFL, full-time, Richmond in an upset, 10-9-69 to Adelaide, 9-12-66, so 3 points. And in the SANFL, it is Port Adelaide by 13 points over Glenelg, and West Adelaide are only trailing by 13 points now.
Ball back into play out towards that outer side wing. South missing a golden opportunity before, but here's a chance again as Wright handballs over the top to Archard from left half forward. Goes inside 50 towards the top of the goal square. Warren there, Simonella fisted it down. Crumbs taken by James Gowan. His handball over the head of Curry. He goes in again. Tackled by Nagel. Ball spills free. O'Sullivan there, Nagel as well. And this time the umpire comes in because they'll bounce it 30 metres out from South's goal. Almost 9 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central. South 10-5-65, Central 4-4-28.
Up they go. The ball only about 15 metres or 20 metres away from the South goal as it's picked up there. Player goes to ground. He's been grabbed too high, said the umpire. And the player there, Jared Wright, I think will be the recipient of the free kick. So that squares the ledger as far as free kicks in front of goal in this quarter are concerned. And it'll be Jared Wright lining up only about 20-25 metres out directly in front, boys.
Yeah, well, Buffer, who's been rotating on and off the interchange bench, kicked 2 goals, 2 thus far this season for the Panthers. This is a very important kick. Central have kicked the first goal of the third quarter and have had a bit of the play up forward, especially in the early minutes. South have had it down here the last couple, and this to get some reward for the Panther faithful as Wright comes in straight in front and is just as straight with the kick. So Wright has his first. South have their 11th. The Panthers 11-5-71. Central 4-4-28. The margin back out to 43 points. 9 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central.
Well, you could say Jared did the right thing by his side then, boys.
He certainly did. Jared Wright had a good year in his first year with South in 2004. Slipped into the twos a bit last year, but he's been a regular player for them this season, and he certainly, as DB so nicely put, did the right thing on that occasion, extending the lead back out to 43 points for the Panthers.
Which is the biggest in the game.
It is the biggest as well. We've gone 10 minutes in this third term. As in the ruck from the side, Parry wins it down only as far as O'Sullivan for the Dogs. He kicks inside 50. Out there on the lead, and I'm to take it was Westhoff. Quick little tick off the pack, bouncing, or out of bounds on the full. Nice bounce through for a point. And that's the Central District's 5th point there, 4-5, South 11-5.
Okay, now the Panthers to bring it back into play. I think it's Carlisle back there. Got the footy. Yes, he'll go to the outer side with a long drop punt. Clark Setman's coming in to take the mark there was Bennett. Did it superbly. Gave it to Smith. Smith now looking for Clark. He's covering a bit of territory. Clark, he's at centre wing on the outer side, I should say. Takes the mark for the Panthers. What's he going to do? He's looking for movement. He'll go along that half-forward flank. He's looking for Tawney, who goes up almost the mark. Couldn't take it off. Hands though. Here's a chance for Kenner. Uses his speed. Breaks away. Has two bounces. Goes bang on his boot. Gee whiz, what an anti-climax. He did it superbly, and then at the last moment the ball rolled over a couple of times and hit the tall upright for the minor score to the Panthers. Yes, Phil.
The Panthers are not afraid to back themselves, are they?
They are not, that's for sure. 11-6-72, 4-5-29, the Doggies. The ball to be brought back into play to the grandstand side, looking for and finding Quinton Graham in opposition to Benny Warren. Oh, that's nearly a take the ball off your son, but Quinton Graham gets up and still got the footy. Grandstand side, half back flank for the Doggies. Bombs a high ball now towards the centre wing. Up they go. Oh, big bucket. McKenzie put his hands up. That's the PDK highlight. It was a beautiful mark in the pack. He goes short there looking for and finding Justin Westhoff, who led beautifully. Marks the ball in front of Bennett. He must be playing at centre half forward now, the youngster. Throws the ball on the right boot. Up inside 50. Players will set themselves. Danny Shell put up one hand in the back. Hately has taken the mark. I think it is Hately back there. Or Carlisle, one of the two, Johnny.
Yeah, Hately it was, and he goes out towards that left back pocket and finds Kruger. Goes further afield, and Ilgerson at left half back. Pot on the line, takes the mark. Wastes no time. He's got a man on his own on that outer side wing. Taking the mark and running there was McGlone. He kicks up towards the forward 50 arc. Archard on his own, 60 from goal. Chips inside to the one-on-one contest. Warren being manhandled. Nothing doing. Coming through to lend support. Toomey. Warren's got the football. Sivanella's got him. Toomey wrested it away from the pair of them. Now Sivanella picks up the crumbs. Handballs to Slade, and he kicks out towards the half-back position with a big score. Couldn't take it on the bounce. The Dogs have another chance, though. It's Gowans to Thomas. Now to Swatala at right half-back. He kicks along that outer side wing where most of the play's been heading in this third term, and taking the mark there for the Dogs is McCabe. He steadies things down in front of the sparse group of supporters out there.
Alias the South Cheer Squad out there.
They are indeed. I shouldn't say so much about the sparse. He goes short and finds Elijah Ware. Still outer side wing for the Dogs. They need a couple of goals, and that's a good kick by Ware. And up at centre half forward taking the mark is Big Buckets McKenzie. 65 from goal. Kicks up towards the hot spot. Shell in a group of about four of them. Fisted down. Crumbs there to Justin Westhoff. Handball was a good one. He found O'Sullivan. He found Gowans. Can he get a kick? No. Goes back in the direction of Graham. He snaps towards the goals. We'll wait on the umpire. It's going to be a close one. I think he's got it.
The goal.
He has. So Quentin Graham getting the fifth goal for Central, the one they did need. 5-5-35 the Dogs go to South. 11-6-72, 13.5 gone thanks to Grand Central in this third term, and thanks to Black and White Trucks. We go to Mr. Michael Philippo in the studio with all the scores.
In the AFL, full time at the Telstra Dome, Richmond 10-9-69 defeated Adelaide 9-12-66, a 3-point margin. In the other game in the AFL at Subiaco in the first quarter, it's Fremantle trailing the Kangaroos by 1.139 to 1-4-10. And in the other SANFL games, it's Port Adelaide skipped out to a 26-point margin in the third quarter, with Waterhouse kicking now has 7 goals. And at Broad Spectrum Oval, it's the Eagles leading West Adelaide by 15 points.
Thank you, Michael. Back here at Noarlunga, the umpire with the footy about to ball it up. 14 minutes gone in the premiership quarter. The Doggies have kicked 2, the Panthers 1. The ball comes there to Slade. A hurry kick up the half forward. Jimmy Gowans emerges with the footy, puts it on the left boot. The kick was smothered though. It'll end up with Buckets McKenzie, who tried to pick it up. He was a bit too slow that time. Allowed Turles to come in. He gave it to Carlisle or Cately, I think it was. Ended up now with Archard. In fact, McGlone was taken now by Kruger. Up towards Davey, through his hand, should have taken that. That was a Smithfield crash clanger, and the ball forced over the boundary line for a throw-in. Alongside the interchange gate, grandstand side, the Panthers into attack. Boundary umpire to throw it back into play. 2-1 in favour of the Doggies in this quarter. But, of course, they are kicking with the aid of a slight breeze as the ball emerging with the footy as Stuart Dew sinks the slipper and the ball wobbles up into the air, up towards half forward, and up in front. Tawney takes the mark for the Panthers, read it superbly. So Tawney now, half back, grandstand side for the Panthers. Looking for movement, gets a lead from Kruger. He goes further than that. He's looking for young Iliason, who got hip and shouldered out of the way. The ball's still in play, though, right on the boundary line. Oh, great play by Wilson if he can keep it in. He's going to keep it. Real
how's that?
Highlight. Gives the ball back now to Westhoff of the Justin variety. He goes up towards full forward. Again, they're dancing.
Oh.
And emerging with a gold medal, bike and chain is Shell, and goes bang straight through the high little for a goal to the Doggies. They go to 6 goals, 5-41, South Adelaide 11-6. 72, and we've played 15 minutes on the Grand Central time clock.
Well, without doubt, that is Central District's best passage of play we've seen here at Noarlunga this afternoon. Started by Wilson, who just persisted, patted with the ball, broke into open space. The Doggies are just trying to manufacture a winning forward line at the moment, and they had Westhoff at centre-half forward and Shell at full forward now, and McKenzie, he's sort of roaming around up there as well with Stewie Dew, and Westhoff got the pass. Shell one-on-one contest, probably the first time he's had one of those today. His opponent went to ground. Easy goal, and Central's, well, they've kicked 3 of the 4 goals in this quarter, edging their way back, but there is still a long way to go.
There certainly is. If the umpire has the ball in the middle, puts it down, Schooler in the ruck there against Parry, who won it down to Hanby, tried to get a handball out. Players put the pressure on him. The umpire letting it go now. He comes in and says, we'll bounce it attacking side of centre for South Adelaide. Central 6-5, South 11-6. Margin still 31 points as we tick toward the 17-minute mark of this third term, but Central looking pretty good in this third quarter as Thomas wins it down. Can Slade pick it up? No, he overran it. So did Lee Westhoff. Handball went out more in hope than anything. It's going to come off for the Dogs as McCabe picks up. There's a good handball towards Slade. Outer side wing kicks towards the half-forward line. Ware does well to pick it up now. He stopped in his tracks by Thulis. Wonderful tackle. Picking up now Smith. Handballs up towards McGlott at left half-back. He gives to Kruger. And a chance for South to clear now towards half-forward. Out in front there, Ilgeson, on that occasion it didn't favour him as the ball went over his head. And Adam Swatala took the mark at right half-back, outer side for Central. He chips, looking for a couple of Central players there. Schooler in front of Thomas, fell to ground but took the mark anyway, the big fella. And he chips the ball towards that outer side wing where another man has made some space for the Dogs. It's Elijah Ware, just taking it slowly. Central just chipping it around, trying to find something up forward. They go further afield. The mark taken by Slade, who's tried pretty hard for the Dogs. Kicks to the hot spot and Shell. Bullet-like pass there from Slade. Land about 40, well, probably 35 out from goal, 45-degree angle. And the last goal scorer, Daniel Shell, takes the mark, and he can go back and bridge the gap for just 25 points at the 18-minute mark of the third term.
Yeah, well, if you announce this, here come the Doggies, and Shell, after about 5 minutes away from full forward, has come back into the game with gusto.
Oh, isn't that just typical Daniel?
He put a bit too much gusto into the kick because it's wide left. Point to the Doggies. Chance to get some momentum lost there. They're 6-6-42, South 11-6-72. 5 straight sausage rolls of difference here at Noarlunga.
Okay, waiting for the footy. It's right down here at half-back at the moment. One of the kids kicking back into play. Sun shining brightly on Noarlunga Oval. If anybody wants to organise some sun tours right now, we're sitting in the stand. It's quite Soldiers Bowl, and we'd be on that tour, I reckon, because it's beautiful out there in the middle of the oval. If the short kick is marked by Carlisle, I reckon. It was kicked from Mark Pate. It was kicked by Clark in actual fact, and he brings it now to Haitley over on the grandstand side, still into defensive 50. So Haitley with the footy will go short. The lead is on from Hanby. O'Sullivan was there but didn't have the height to go with Hanby, who breaks away now. Comes out of the defensive 50, chips it over the top. He's put Tenner under the hanger. He was hung on to just momentarily. There's Thomas, got a little handball over to Curry. Curry up towards full forward. Shell again. He comes up the big push in the back after he got rid of the mark. That's nearly 25. Because he was clearly going to mark it, and you can do some damage to a man that has got a crook back already. And the umpire said, I don't care if he's got a crook back or not. He's only not going to get a 25-metre penalty.
Well, Daniel Shell, I still reckon the confidence is down a bit. We've seen him with some tight shots that most full forwards would say I'll have a crack. Now, he's passed off.
Early in the year, that would have been a 25-metre penalty.
Well, that's it. I mean, haven't seen any of those this afternoon, but maybe the players have learnt not to infringe, or they've learned how to infringe and not break the rules. The Shell's kick again is wayward, so I reckon that's about 3 to 4 he's missed this afternoon. As Central, they've got the ball, but are they getting it on the scoreboard? 6-7-43, South 11-6-72.
As the Panthers bring the ball in towards half-back.
Good mark.
Good mark indeed. They're taken for South Adelaide by Big Parry. He's worked very hard for them in the ruck. He's got the ball at left half-back. We don't want to deal in ifs and buts too much, but if Shell had been accurate on those couple of occasions, we'd be looking at a 3-goal ball game as Parry goes across goal. He spotted a man there on defensive 50 in Magalon, who takes the mark. He goes further afield to Kenner at right half-back. He sits and waits for the bounce of the football. Traps it well. Now Thomas traps in. Got to be holding the ball. Wonderful tackle by Paul Thomas, showing how it's done. And Kenner not over the moon, but he was caught dead there by Thomas on the boundary line. And the Central District vice-captain will kick the ball inside their 50, looking for options up there. Coming out there, big Mackenzie. Is he going to get there? He is. The big fella, turn of speed in that left forward pocket, tight on the line, but he has marked it inside 50. Those bucket-like hands, DB, exactly right. And Phil, can he kick it?
Well, I'll tell you what, talk about speed for a big man. He just charged after that one. He is right on the boundary line in the pocket. If he kicks this magnificent effort, he's got a little bit of breeze to help him. So if he puts it just out of the goal square, maybe the breeze will bring it back. But let's not forget, Bucket Mackenzie coming into this. Well, he kicked 5-1. So he's had a bit of accuracy. Now he decides to do the smart thing, go on board play. He probably should have had a shot of those. Come loose to Central, go to O'Sullivan. If he can break free, he can't. Loose ball, John centre half forward, and it's going to be a ball up. It is indeed. Well, he probably had the right idea. The play continuing on. The umpire now says I'll ball it up, but he probably had the right idea on that occasion, DB, but just didn't have the right execution.
Well, he almost kicked it like he had a bucket on his foot, didn't he? Because it came off the boot very awkwardly, and of course the Panthers were quick to seize the opportunity to wrap it up. Oh, getting up very high there was Jared Bennett. Thumped the ball up to further afield towards the central goal. In actual fact, back into a pack of players, and there's any number of players around the ball, and the umpire has to move in and ball it up again. It's only about 25 metres out from the central goal. So anything could happen here as the umpire bounces it down. Mackenzie and Parry. Mackenzie got a big thump out. Stewie Dew was going to run onto it, but in the way there for comes from but back it came to, I reckon it was Slade that kicked the goal from Justin Westhoff, was it?
Yep.
I reckon it was Slade that kicked the sausage roll. Great work there by Westhoff. Cupido had it and then lost it, and it ended up with Slade who kicked another sausage roll for the doggies.
Slade second, but that's one of those little 1% skill errors we talk about.
I mean, I thought for a sec South are going to concede the point. Next minute it's in the hands of Slade. He's not going to miss those. Finally, Central District has a multiple goal scorer, and here come the doggies back to within a 23-point margin. If they can get another couple before three-quarter time with the wind, it's game on final quarter.
I reckon Cupido had it, lost it, and Westhoff tapped it to Slade.
Back in the middle, South desperately needing a steadier. I see big Nathan Toomey's gone into the ruck, but going off the ground, it's James Gowan, trapped beautifully by the man at the moment. Slade should be in the back, and the umpire says it will be. And Matthew Slade kicked 2 goals for Central, one in the second, one in the third.
You're unlucky when that happens, because both players going flat chat. For player forwards, you've got nowhere to go but into his back.
Well, exactly right, nowhere to go at all. As Slade goes inside 50, fisted away by South. Hately can pick up in the left back pocket. What's his kick going to be like? It goes along the line looking for touch, and he finds it at left half back there for South Adelaide, outer side of the ground. 23 minutes gone in this third term, thanks to Grand Central. 23 points the margin, and Central just really starting to creep back into this game. They've dominated the last about 15 minutes of play.
It's all been up that end of the paddock, hasn't it?
It has, and also on the outer side of the outer side wing too in this third term. It's all going on over there. It's from behind. Toomey tried to get a hand on it. Big buckets, Mackenzie doing some roving. Got a little kick out. Who's going to be first there? Is it the boundary line or Central? It's Central. Slade to Gowans. Goes back looking for O'Sullivan. A little bit too hot. But that's going to be a throw from Selwood. And he has been pinged for a throw. He's not over the moon about, but that was the throw in all senses of the language, and it's going to come back and go to Central's O'Sullivan in the right forward pocket, probably about 40 metres out from goal, tucked away on a pretty severe angle, Phil.
Yeah, look, that would have been fine, a state of origin Wednesday night, New South Wales, Queensland, but not in the game of Aussie rules, even from here to throw. So O'Sullivan a chance here. Doggies have kicked 3, the last 3 in a row, and 4 of the 5 in this quarter. Here's a chance to get the 4-treller. Get right back into this game. 24 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central. It's going to be a tough kick from 30. No distance, no problem. Umpire on the move, and that's another miss. So Central 7-8-50, South 11-6-72, and the Panthers, gee, they're starting to go indirect. They're starting to make some skill errors. They're starting to give away some free kicks. It is all starting to go pear-shaped, DB.
Well, it is, but luckily for them, the doggies aren't kicking straight. That's 3 behind from set shots, and Buckets Mackenzie, he could have had a shot too, but he went across the ground, and they lost it. The kick out now taken by Thomas, forced to use his left boot. I tell you what, a bad kick, but he has missed it. The goal umpire fooled everybody, including himself. Put up one finger in the behind. Again, another behind to the doggies. So the Panthers breathe another sigh of relief as the ball is brought into the to the outer side. It's a shocking kick off the boot.
And the Smithfield crash clangers are coming
thick and
at
fast.
a thick and fast at the moment. Central's another forward 50 coming up.
O'Sullivan, I should say, up towards half forward, out the back though. There's only two players there. One of those is Haitley. He'll go down the centre wing. He's looking for the boundary. What will the footy do? It's wobbling towards it, but Thomas is going to be first there. Gathers it in, gets back onto his left boot, chips it short, and he's looking for a player further afield. That player's not in possession to take it. It was Jimmy Gowns. Big Parry was there and forced it over the boundary line for a throw in. Half forward flank inside the 50 for the Doggies.
And they'll just really love another goal, Central, just to really make this, as Phil said, game on. They've worked so hard, had about 3 or 4 misses in the last 10 minutes as the ball back into play, fisted down. South don't have a chance to clear though now through Sampson. Comes out towards half-back. Going to go over the heads of the players, jostling for the ball onto centre wing now. Big Schooler couldn't get the sit. Warren coming through was good to Ilgerson for Cupido. There's 3 forwards well out of position as he kicks the ball towards centre half forward. Not much going on for South, but there is one player up there, and taking the mark is Big Parry. He does a good job to kick the ball back towards Ilgerson, who's run on for South. Schooler spoiled him, picked up there, tied on the line by Swatala. Handball's over the top, and this is going to work out for the Dogs because Wilson has the ball defence to 50. He's got time to stop and look around. Goes with a left foot kick now as the South players come in to shut him down. He finds Lee Westhoff there at right half back, right in front of the latrines, as Central go forward now up towards the that outer side wing where most of the play's been heading. Flying high, Bennett, ball to the back of the pack where the Panthers through Toomey. The handball puts Fairwoods in a bit of trouble, but he does well. Clueless now, handball. What a great one on that occasion under pressure, though, I must admit, as it comes to Nagel. Now South have another chance to go up towards the half-forward line, and the kick on this occasion is successful. It's marked there by Parry, who, whether he's in the ruck or up forward, has been super for South today. Running down there, Tawney makes great position as the Crows defender, and today playing for South takes the mark, left forward pocket, 30 from goal on a tough angle, Phil, but it's a goal that South just need to stem this flow as they lead by 21 points, 27 gone third term.
Well, look, this is a huge kick in the context of the match and almost a huge kick in the context of the season for South. They don't want you to put too much pressure on it. Doggies have their tail up. South, yeah, I have. That's what we get paid the big bucks for, I guess. I mean, South, full of turnovers in recent times. The Smithfield Crash Clangers, a chance here to steady. They do come home with the breeze, but they've got to stop these Doggies' momentum. The best way to do that is a sausage roll. Tawney, with all the Crows' skills and experience, comes in, and he's kicked the goal. South fans breathe a huge sigh of relief. The Panthers peg one back. They go to 12-6-78, out to a 5-goal margin again. Central, actually a 27-point margin. Central 7-9-51, thanks to black and white trucks. Let's move it right around the grounds.
In the AFL at Subiaco, it's Fremantle by 10 points over the Kangaroos in the second quarter. And in the other SANFL games, Port Adelaide have skipped out to a 51-point lead over Glenelg. They've kicked 9 goals thus far in the third term. And at Broad Spectrum Oval, it's three-quarter time with the Eagles 16 points clear of West Adelaide.
Ball back in the centre, and Justin Tawney doing something that no other player has done this afternoon from that side of the ground. In that pocket, kick a goal, not to my recollection anyway, and great effort to kick that sausage roll there. 12-6-78, the Panthers, Central District 7-9-51, 28 minutes gone in the third term, the premiership quarter. And how many times do you see it? A side will have most of the play, have most of the shots at goal. They miss and miss and miss, and the opposition take it down and kick a goal, and that's exactly what happened. The ball's in the centre. Thomas pushed away his opponent, comes back onto the right boot, did it superbly, goes to half forward. There's a player there loose there. It's Slade, who's had a few touches in this third quarter, goes towards half forward. There's a player in front falling to the ground, out the back though. Tawney, who kicked the last goal, picks it up. He gives it over to his teammate there in Clark. Clark will bring it out here looking for McGlon, who runs onto the footy now. They're starting, he's gone bang. That's deliberate of pepper. I saw a kick, and the umpire says, they're kidding me, aren't you, DB? I don't pay those sort of kicks. And it's going to be a boundary throw-in. Goodness gracious me. That's where understanding of this game comes into being, and the umpire did not understand that that was deliberate. Well, I'll go in for chasing.
It went forward, and you'll never see a deliberate when the ball goes forward.
I saw one recently, and I can't remember whether it was SANFL or AFL. But anyway, whatever it was, I know I saw it, and the play, it might have been last week's AFL game.
Wasn't it Brett Burton kicked one about 60 metres to take Spain deliberately out of bounds on the full going inside 50?
That's exactly right.
Unbelievable stuff. As there'll be a bounce down, left half forward for the Dogs. 12-6-78 South Central. 7-9-51 as we close in, thanks to Grand Central on the 30th minute of this third term. Umpire puts the football down. Sculler got a hand on it. Came the way of James Gowns to O'Sullivan, but the time was beaten and he fires on the goal. it won't score. Even if it did, it wouldn't count because the siren beat him. So at three-quarter time, it's South Adelaide 12-6-78, leading Central 7-9-51, a margin of 27 points. And you'd have to say, Phil, they're probably lucky that it's not a lot closer than that, the Panthers, because Central had their chances in that third term, but didn't.
They're in for a rude shock. They've got to keep playing the footy they've been playing.
They haven't blown a siren to start. There's still half a dozen people on the ground. John, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards South at this stage, but it's like you say, you never want to ride off Central. We're never too confident when tipping South, but South should do it from here and have a good win for their many faithful supporters that have come down and seen South play today.
All right, the class is first. We're ready to roll for the final quarter thanks to Angus Securities. Your caller is Dennis Brown.
Yeah, first goal, all important here this afternoon in this final quarter. Up they go, the ball out the back now. The doggies are actually going forward, but good use of the footy there. Bob Kruger gives it to Smith for Panthers. They go towards half forward. They're in the van there. Up here was Nagel out the back though. Curry had the ball momentarily, running onto it though and bamming it in towards full forward. Oh, dropped there was the player in Ellison, or the Central District player was grabbed high. That was Curry who got the free kick. Gives it to Quentin Graham, who go out to half back. The kick's fallen short and chipping in and taking the mark was Matthew Smith for the Panthers. So Smith now with the footy. Kruger, is it? Lee Kruger that's got the footy. Out there on the outer side, we'll put it on the right boot now towards full forward. Players set themselves, the ball pumped away. Any number of players around the footy, the ball into a pack of players. The umpire says, skip it to me, boys. I'm going to ball it up inside the 50 for the Panthers.
As DB said, first goal, all important, is coming through from the ruck, right, grabbed it, kicked it towards the hot spot, trapping it beautifully there for South, and staffing on the goal is no goal, but it drifts across the face and through for 1 point, so South go to 12-7-78. Central 12-7-79, pardon me, Central 7-9-51. We've gone just over a minute, thanks to Grand Central, in this fourth quarter, as Central will bring the ball back into play. Player kicking to himself there and then playing on for the Dogs. And goes a bit of a run at Twatala. He's lost it because on his third bounce he lost it. Picked up by Cupido, kicks towards the goal and makes him pay. So Twatala was getting a little too fancy, had a third bounce, lost control. Cupido poked it forward, picked it up. PDK highlight, dribbled it through. Adam Smithfield clanger, and that could be the Sealer boys. It's South out to a 34-point lead.
As we often say, sometimes the clanger leads to the highlight, and Swatala, well, first game back, and a poor error of judgment there. The speed of Cupido and give him some open space, and he'll dazzle you with the skills, and that was a pinpoint perfect kick, DB.
No, it wasn't ever, and yeah, along the ground, he didn't want to risk the high ball into the wind, and very cleverly executed. Umpire throws the ball up in the centre. Parry again, a perfect tap, but running onto it almost there was O'Sullivan. He's great, well supported by Dew, but the handball missed its target. It ends up back with Dew. He throws it on the left boot now, up inside the 50. Players setting themselves off. Player being hung onto there was Cowan. I thought Slade had the opportunity. Bennett got on the footy. That's a PDK highlight. Gave it to Clark. Clark gave it to Parry and Parry to McGlom. They're on the grandstand side, the Panthers. The handball back inboard, back to Clark, who's run a long way. He tips it inboard now, finds right in the centre of the ground. So right now, just forward of centre in actual fact for the Panthers. He'll go out towards half forward. There's a player all by himself out there. I think that's Archard, is it? It is. And he's marked the ball inside 50, and gee whiz, how did he get it by himself? He'll chip it short. The lead is on from Cupido. Up the mark. And if that last one wasn't the sealer, I know we're saying sealer and it's only 3 minutes, but gee whiz, this will put some nails in the coffin anyway.
I'll tell you, hasn't Cupido got telescopic arms, and when the ball's in, just absolute vice-like. I mean, 9 times out of 10, that'd be spoiled away, no problem. It's just kicked way too high to the contest. But Cupido, you give him that space in front, he'll take the mark. Comes in now to seal the deal for the Panthers. He has. South fans could almost start celebrating because Cupido's kicked 5 for the game. South have kicked the opening 2 of the quarter, and they have bounded away to a 40-point lead. And you've got to think that is too much, even for the Doggies. South Adelaide 14-7-91, Central 7-9-51. And here's something you don't hear every day at Noarlunga, guys, the South cheer ringing around the Jimmy Dean grandstand at Noarlunga.
It is indeed the Panthers. She only lasted about 4 little laps, but that's what we heard. So
they're out of practice.
Yeah, we know it's
warming up.
So 40 points to lead to South Adelaide. Looks like in the other 2 games, Eagles should win against West and Port should beat the Bays as South doing the job here, but still time, but it's going to be very, very tough indeed for the Dogs. As O'Sullivan had a hit to him, then lost his footing. Umpires whistled play up, and just as Wright was breaking away with the football, the umpire says, I'll come in and throw it up again in the middle here at Noarlunga Oval. We've gone 4 minutes thanks to Grand Central in this fourth term. Umpire has a bounce. Schuller in front, but then coming through from the side, it was Thomas stumping it towards the outer side wing. Tawney there, but sliding in was a central player. Clever little tap on towards O'Sullivan, who kicks up inside 50. Oh, good work by Alapati Carlisle. Just worked the player off the ball there and Shell to a good mark in the right back pocket. Transfers play over towards the full-back goal square. Mark taken by Clark. He's away and running, has a bounce. Handball's over the top there to Wright, who in turn goes to Carlisle, who started the movement. He goes out towards right half-back, where the mark's taken there for South Adelaide by Kruger, who's shielding his eyes against the sun. Chips towards the outer side wing, where the mark is picked off there by Nagel. And South just working it along. As coming out from half-forward, it is young Kenner taking the grab. Chip's got two to choose from. Clark's one on from defence. He gives to McGlone. They're everywhere at the moment, the Panthers. If McGlone kicks to about 35 from goal, offhand, Central have a chance to clear now through to Atala. Doesn't take any bounces, so the kick on this occasion. Set up there for Archard. He had it fisted away, but the only one doing any roving was Stoolis, and he chips inside 50 and finds Ben Warren down there in the left forward pocket. Is that Ilgerson? It's Ilgerson, I think. Ilgerson. In the left forward pocket. He has kicked nothing today, Ilgerson, but he's been around the place, up forward and down back, and he can go back now and fire at the goals from probably about 45 out, 45 degree angle.
Just trying to work out some percentages, boys. Because I got some news for you coming up if this keeps going as it is, as Ogerson now coming in. Going to test the range even with the win. He bangs the Burley towards home. It's going to lob on the goal line. It's going to go to the distance. 6 minutes gone. South have kicked the first 3 goals, and now it's party time for the Panther faithful. South 15-7-97. The cheers getting out of boys. Central 7 at 9:51. It is now out to a 46-point margin.
Yeah, you just feel DV, perhaps the Central side spent their bickies a bit in that third term with that 10-15 minute burst and just didn't get the rewards they needed when kicking for goal.
Yeah, and plus the unfortunate mistake by
Watala didn't help them.
I mean, that is absolutely bone-jolting when something like that happens, and the Panthers are the ones that are capitalising. The ball's in the centre, came to Archard, tried to get the handball away, recovers to get the footy again. They pounce on top of him, and there'll be another ball up in the centre.
Just the calculations I was doing, the way this game is panning out, the Eagles with their win will go into 5th. South will jump Central's into 6th spot, and on today's result, Central will go from 5th down to 7th.
Okay, the ball kicked out towards centre wing. It bounced away there from Kruger. Ended up with Elijah Ware, who goes up inside the 50, out in front. Carlisle playing in front of his opponent there in Shell. The ball through his legs, though. Here's a chance for Shell off the left boot. Has he kicked the goal?
Yep,
I think he has. A reply to the doggies, but is it too late? She cried. 8 goals, 9:57. Second goal for Danny Shell. South Adelaide 15-7-97. Quickly back to the studio, courtesy of Black and White.
In the AFL, it's Fremantle trailing the Kangaroos by 3 points, and Port Adelaide are now 50 points up against Glenelg at Alberton Oval, and West Adelaide are 47 points down against the Eagles at Broad Spectrum.
Yes, and back here at Noarlunga, good to see Michael's given royalty the flick, and he's back in the studio. Good to see Michael. You're doing a great job back there, mate.
And the way the results are also going, Eagles will jump into 4th position from 6th. So some big moves on the premiership table this afternoon.
40 points the margins in favour of South. Central getting a goal there, but I think it's a little bit too late. She cried, as you said, DV. One down there by Schooler. Off the ground was Archard. Didn't go far out. Squirt that towards centre half forward, where picked up by Lee Westhoff. Slug around twice in the tackle, and the umpire says, no, I'll bounce it. Well, there you go. He'll bounce it at centre half forward for the South Adelaide side.
Yeah, it wasn't any different to Kenner's, I thought, over here, but still, they're probably a different umpire. I can't remember now.
That's true. Anyway, bounce of the football, wrestling in the ruck going on. Parry and Schooler. In from the side, Parry won it down only as far as Lee Westhoff. Gets a kick towards centre half forward. Clears one group of players coming out there. O'Sullivan, he couldn't take it. Well done, Clark. He grabbed hold of the football and then was legged, I think, as he went to go for a bit of a run, but he got the free kick, so setting things down, David Clark. He's been one of South's very good players, though. There's been plenty of them, but he's been very impressive, just sort of sweeping around across half-back. Comes out towards the ring. Smith was up high, couldn't take it, got the handball back in his direction, fizzled out in his arms, comes the way of right, and...
Oh, you're kidding, umpire. That was a mark. He controlled the footy.
Well, it was one of those sort of real, as I would say, Tiki Touchwood ones, isn't it? You sort of felt from his he did have control, but perhaps the umpire saw it a little better out there at left half forward.
Well,
as we see an interchange. That's Cowan off and Mackenzie on.
Umpire with the footy bounces the ball. And out she goes. taken by Parry out of the air, and he handballs out wide, looking there for Kenner, uses his pace. He had a couple of his teammates there, ended up giving it at McGlom. McGlom goes in towards full forward, out the back, a chance now for Tawney, trapped it beautifully. The handball further afield to Kruger. He grabbed when he didn't have it, spins back into trouble though. He's at the bottom of the pack. He'll better get it out. The umpire will ping him. No, he said, give it to me, boys. I'll ball it up just inside the 50, half forward flank out of side for the Panthers.
Should remind everyone, RPH coverage, your best coverage of the state game is on 11.97 RPH Adelaide. The SANFL wrap 7:30 Monday morning. Midweek show 7 to 8, including interview with Daryl Hart. And the league team show, just one game to talk about, 8 p.m. Thursday night. State game live from 7 p.m. at Friday night.
Right, the bounce down, the ball's been moved forward about 20 metres closer to the Panther goal, emerging with the footy out the back though. The umpire's found a whistle, and he decided to blow it and give a free kick to the Doggies, and it looks like Jimmy Gowns back there. Is that right, Big John?
Yes, it is Jimmy Gowns. He's worked pretty hard today for the Dogs, but he's been one of few as Gowans in that left back pocket for Central. Just directing traffic a bit, not a lot on offer for him, and the South fans telling him to move things along. He plays on now, runs across the face of goal and has a bounce. It hasn't been too successful for Central having bounces across the face of goal, but it's come off on this occasion. His kick was good. Slade took the mark, runs to half back with a couple of bounces and kicks to half forward. Smith up, got a handle on this occasion. He's going to get a free for a push in the back. I think the umpire thought about calling advantage, but he decided to bring it back, and Smith will take the free kick from left half back. It was indeed. Now no one on the mark there, so Smith plays on, gives to Kenner, who pinpoints the pass beautifully onto that wing position where he finds McGlon, who really was quite looking like he was going to go off then, but he just managed to stop himself. Umpire saw nothing untoward, and that he kicks towards half forward, and a very nice mark taken there by Warren. Flips it off towards Sampson. Sampson kicks towards the goals from 45. Right on the mark, the South player couldn't take the mark. The ball's bobbling around there. Charging him, Curry picks it up and runs away with the football. There's actually just allowed him there wrestling on the last line of fence. I'd forgotten all about the ball. It just sat there as Central broke it out towards half back where Schooler takes the mark. Chips up the wing. Clark was up high. Great mark, PDK highlight by David Clark, and he can put South back inside their forward 50. Played for Carlton, Geelong in the AFL. Clark now finding his feet at South Adelaide. Up high there was Toomey, but at the back doing the crumbing there for Central was Gowans. He kicked out towards the outer side wing. The Adelaide player again not paid a mark, which perhaps should have gone his way. Knocks towards Cupido, who from right half forward's got two players to choose from. Finds Sampson. He gets to forward 50 after getting around one of his Central opponents. Steadies from 40, kicks towards the goals, going to drift across the face. Warren had the one hand up, couldn't drag it in. Kenneth on the line, got a handball of sorts out. It's grabbed by Wilson, and he can clear the ball for Central, DB.
Yeah, Wilson into the centre, finds Dew on the left boot. He's got a couple of Bulldogs loose in the centre. One of those is O'Sullivan. He breaks away, puts it on the right boot. The lead is on from Shell. Can he get there?
Oh, beautiful.
Great mark. Good lead, good kick. PDK highlights all around there, and all Shell's got to do is kick a sausage roll. He's missed a few today, and he's about 50 out. Not an easy kick, though, Phil Herden.
No, this one, although you'd think he should certainly give a roost, and distance may be the only concern. Or kick just inside 50. But hard to gauge the win from up here. Kicks right on 50. The kick is going to fall short on the goal line. Loose packs, and don't concede the behind. Looks like they will. But there was a Panther player on the goal line. Now it's with Clark. Clark spins around, goes the other way, and he's got a teammate he's marked right in the back pocket.
Yeah, you couldn't get any further back than back, can you? As it ended up with Parry. Parry now out wide, gives it to Kruger. He's been a good player today. Kruger bangs it towards centre wing. The numbers are in favour of the Doggies as it ricochets back out, though. Comes to Kruger, who, in fact, it was McGlon. Ended up there with Toomey, who contested beautifully. This has allowed the Panthers in as it ends up with McGlon. He's at centre wing and bombs it forward, looking for Benny Warren. Straight through his hands, though, and out of bounds. He's got his hands on a few balls today, Benny Warren, but he hasn't been able to hang on to them. And consequently, have a look how far the poor old Bandry umpire is. He's like most of those horses I back at Globe Derby, tailed off.
He has indeed. He was all the way back at about right half back for South Adelaide. Had to charge down there into their right forward pocket as he prepares to, after pulling in the deep breast, to bring the ball back into play. Inside the forward 50 arc for South, they lead by 40 points. They're home. There's no doubt about that. It's just whether they can put some icing on the cake. Is in the ruck, one down there by Central. Little kick forward over the top by South, comes off. Taken well there by Sampson. He snaps towards the goals. What's he done? For the third time in about as many shots by Sampson. He's been accurate. It's gone out of bounds on the full, and Central will take the relieving kick in the right back pocket. 14 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central final term, and it's South by 40 points.
Yeah, look, as much as this game is over, don't doubt the importance of the next 15 minutes or so, because, look, there's 7 teams fighting for 5 spots. There's a bit of a logjam, and percentage is going to be critical.
Watala brings it out to Slade. Slade immediately on the right boot to the outer side. He's got Quinton Graham going back there. Oh, good work by Toomey, but he's given away a free kick. And it will go to Quinton Graham, centre wing on the outer side. Immediately plays on Graham towards half forward, looking for buckets McKenzie, but in front, Gerard Bennett. Too much pace for his opponent on that occasion. Got in front and took the mark. So Bennett now with the footy. Outer side, thinking about going short. Still got the footy. Now he decides to go short, and the lead is on, and the mark taken out there by, not too sure, is that Nagel out there?
Yep,
Nagel it is.
Nagel.
Right next to the outhouse, he's got the footy.
No bouncing castle there today.
No. As Nagel with the left boot now goes up towards half forward Warren, and at the back Stebanala takes an easy mark in actual fact, and then brings the ball back into O'Sullivan. He'll come on the back of the square and then deliver it to the head of the square. Up in. There's that man Parry, and gee whiz, tell you what, he's played a game and a half. In fact, it's not Parry, it's might have been, who was that? Thurles it was, and then now it ends up with Clark. Clark will go in towards centre half forward. The ball sails inside the 50, beat all and sundry. Attempted bit of work there by the South Adelaide player, came unstuck as Wilson emerges with the footy onto the left boot. He goes out towards centre wing, and the mark taken out there by Slade. Slade immediately plays on. Now the lead is on from Shell. In front, takes the mark in opposition to Carlisle. He's outside 50, bombs it to the head of the square. In front there is Justin Westhoff.
Oh, good grab.
Mark. PDK highlight by the young man, and he takes the mark in opposition to Thurles.
Yeah, well, Shell's marks to goal ratio is going to be one of the lowest all time this afternoon, but Justin Westhoff, look, he certainly is a young talent coming through the central ranks along with brother Lee. Came on in the game. In fact, this will be the first time he's copped a loss, because his first match they beat West, his second match they thumped North. This will be the first time he'll be on the wrong end at league level. Comes in there, will kick from 25 metres out straight in front, stabs at the ball. That is lay down Mazaire. Central have their night, and whatever fans haven't already started the trip back to Elizabeth, give that a cheer. Central 9-9-63, South 15-7-97. Thanks to Black and White Trucks. Let's go back to Michael Filippo and move it right around the grounds.
In the AFL, it's Fremantle 5-4-34, trailing the Kangaroos 5-7-37. In the SANFL, it's Port Adelaide 18-12, 120 to Glenelg 10-12, 72, a 48-point margin. And West Adelaide are trailing the Eagles by 53 points, 8-9, 57 to 16-14, 110.
Back here at Noarlunga Oval, South Adelaide looking the goods, 34 points the margin, but that's not much time left as Central go forward again. 17 minutes have gone. In fact, as Jew wearing number 17 kicks inside 50. Clever tap on there by Justin Westhoff, taken by Jimmy Gowan. Little chip kick under pressure, couldn't find McCabe. Hately did well for South Adelaide, picking it up, giving it out towards Carlisle. He searches further afield for Kruger. Slade applies the pressure on him, grabs the football. Kruger almost got into his back there on that occasion, and he did. And Slade will take the free kick from the forward 50 arc. Chips up looking for Shell, and Shell doesn't disappoint. He takes the mark 45 out, 45-degree angle, and he's, as you said, Phil's taken a lot of marks today, but in terms of kicking goals, he's only managed to put through the two majors.
It's quite amazing, but I mean, most of his marks, to be honest, have been around about the 50-metre arc. So
yeah, 8 marks.
8 marks he's had. Well, I thought actually might be more than that. He comes off to Norsby. That's not going to work. Kenner forces the score. He's got the ball in the middle of the ground. John, and the Panthers are away.
They are. And Stephen Kenner, the little man, kicks up towards half forward, but chipping back there, taking a good
25.
mark. For Central was Curry. He was taken to the ground after taking the mark, and you're right, Phil, it is 25, and the umpire didn't say it immediately. Phil yelled it out, and he quickly raced up there and put in the 25. So Curry from left half back.
First one today, mind you.
It is in two. He got Norsworthy out on that outer side wing, and he takes the mark between left half forward, outer side wing for the Dogs. Just steadies things. And now he kicks towards the forward 50 arc. Up was big buckets McKenzie, fisted down. So that player working hard there. Should get a free kick for being taken high, and he will. And the player on that occasion was Jared Wright, I believe. That's
25.
And that's 25 too. Back to the back chatting.
So they've got to get the quota going.
Well, they have now. Jimmy points out it's one. They've managed to give away 2 in the last 30 seconds, and Jared Wright will find himself right in the middle of Noarlunga Oval.
I mean, mind you, both are there. They're not Chatswood side, so fair enough.
Fair, sure. As he kicks up inside 50, offhand, Wilson at the back, mops up. Oh, his kick went straight to Will, just about 5 metres away. He kicks back towards the goal square and puts it through. Well done, Dennis Ilgerson. He kicks his Second of the day, both in this final term, and yeah, good work there by Wilson to be there to mop up for Central, but his kick, Phil, went right onto the opposition player's chest, and South get that 40-point lead back out there, 17-7, 104, 103 to 9-9, 63, almost time on in this last term, thanks to Grand Central.
Yeah, look, it is, I mean, we've seen a couple of Smithfield crash fingers to the Doggies in defence in this last quarter with the game on the line. You'd expect it to be the opposite, and South under pressure to fold. But one thing about the Panthers is when they win big. Their other two wins, 56 points against West, 48 against Cert. Their third win today is going to be around about the 40-point mark.
Okay, the big thump by Parry, taken by Smith towards half forward. Out they come looking for the footy. There's a free kick being found by the umpire, who's jogging in the arm. Extended, it's going to go to Ellison again. He kicked 2 goals in this final quarter. And the young man from Henley Sharks will line up for goal.
Well, based on the last kick issued, this one is a lay down was there, but he has had a couple of shots. And so this thing going out of this game, we're into time on thanks to Grand Central, 20 minutes gone. All teams, of course, the rest next week. Central play Norwood at Hammer Holmes Oval in a fortnight. South have got 3 weeks off. They have the bye next week. As Olsen comes in and nails his third for the quarter. So a great cameo when South Adelaide really needed it. Now the Panthers powering away. 17-7. That's 109. Central 9-9, 63. 46 points the margin. And yes, Central, well, they have a break next week, Norwood. And unfortunately for South, on top of one of their best efforts of the season, a 3-week break.
Yeah, that's not good. That's tough. We're thinking about Central having the one game in 3 weeks. South to have a 3-week break. So, yeah, that's tough stuff on the Panthers. So that's the way the dice roll sometimes.
And I guess if you're going to play state footy, and I certainly believe you've got to have state league footy, that is the cost.
It is indeed, as they'll be happy. The Mayor's Cup will be heading to Noarlunga for what we think will be the first time.
Well, it's still here, isn't it?
That's right, still here. It's not going anywhere, but they'll just hang on to it. As Smith at centre-half forward after Parry won the 5th down, couldn't pick it up. Players diving over the ball, comes out now with Central. Quick kick by Thomas from left-half back towards the outer side wing. Bouncing ball, Tawney and McCabe. Tawney got a hand on it. Quick handball out by Kruger was good towards McGlone, who found big Parry. He was tackled. Got a handball out, though, and Central have a chance through Slade. He decides to put the body on rather than look at the ball, and Smith neatly avoided that. And now the ball tackled well there. The South Bay will be held and there'll be a bounce.
Just a reminder, coming up after this game will be Leisure Link with Peter Greco. Just a note back to the studio and to Peter, this game's running a little late, so we probably will have Leisure Link starting after this match, which will probably be about 5:05.
Umpire thumps the ball into the turf. Up they go. Cowan against Parry. The ball down to Lee West off. The Doggies are trying hard as it comes to Jimmy Gowns. Around the body he goes. He's bent it out in front. Did it superbly. Then got a handball back. Looking for right. Also in there was Thulis. Emerging with the footy as McCabe. His kick smothered though, but only as far as Tawney. Tawney gets a handball inboard to Thulis. Thulis' hurried kick outside the defensive 50. A chance there as it's tapped on by the Panthers by, it looked like Kruger. He got it to Hately. Hately now to Carlisle. He'll go short, looking for Sampson through his hands, allows the Doggies to run onto it through Wilson. Back it comes now to Ware. He puts it on the right boot up towards half forward, and the mark taken by Jimmy Gowns. Outside 50, throws it on the left boot now. The ball centres towards in half forward. Up they go. Shell in front as he marks another one. He has. And this time he'll fire from about 20 metres. If that was the mark, how come the mark wasn't played to Smith back here?
Exactly right. We were talking about that one being a 50-50. It was more like a 75-25 compared to this one.
I guess it's the man in front, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Smith was by himself.
We're smashing theories left, right.
I'll leave that one. 23 minutes gone. Shell comes in for some solo from and that pretty much tells the story. And Daniel Shell, some great marks. A couple of questionable though, but more question about his kicking. Central's 9-10, 64. South 17-7, 109 as it starts to get a bit cold as boulders here, but DB.
Ooh, 35 points the margin. Kicking found Parry, and McCabe came in to have a chat, and Parry went to ground, and a 25-metre penalty. A touch of acting perhaps from Mr. Parry, but when you're winning, you can have those things go your way. Winners are grinners, as they say. He finds himself at centre-half back as McCabe stands the mark.
Well, beat a PDK highlight the 25 metres in the last 5 minutes.
He has. We've had about 3 or 4 of them. Went out looking for Hately there. Kick didn't come off. Central now. Go forward. A man on his own there in Shell. Bounced over his head, then bounced away towards the South player who took it. Managed to shovel it out. That was Hately, but it went straight to a Central player who can waltz in and kick a goal for the Dogs. and he does so.
Ware.
That's where it is indeed, Elijah Ware, and Central get their 10th. Elijah, that's his second goal, and they go to 10-10-70 Central South, 17-7, 109. And we go back now, thanks to Black and White, to Michael Filippo in the studio.
In the AFL, it's half-time, and it's Fremantle 5-4-34, trailing the Kangaroos 5-7-37 by 3 points. And in the other SANFL games, Port Adelaide are 19 goals, 15, 129, leading Glenelg 10-13, 73, a 56-point margin. And it's full-time at Broad Spectrum Oval. The Eagles 16-14, 110, defeated West Adelaide 8-10, 58 by 52 points.
Okay, the ball back in towards the half-forward inside 50, and the mark taken. In fact, umpire said the arm was pulled down. Another 25-metre penalty.
That's 5 in this quarter alone after none before.
Well, don't you love them when they run? When they're hot, and when they're not, they're not. Jerry Reid, what a great song it was as Tawney's got the footy.
And how important was that Tawney goal in the third quarter, gentlemen, do you think?
Oh, very important. He ran down from half back to kick it as it ends up with Bennett. Bennett now out towards centre wing looking for Hanby, takes a diving mark. PDK highlight, plays on immediately, gives it to Mr. Magic in Owen Davey. He chips a little left footer over, looking there for Kruger. Back it comes to Davey. Davey will weave a bit of magic on the left boot, goes the ball. PDK highlight. Owen Davey weaving a little bit of magic out there, has kicked another goal for the Panthers. They go to 18 goals, 7, 115. The Doggies 10-10, 70.
Yeah, all good that. And the Owen Davey, just a little chip kick. Only kicked it a short distance so he could run on to get the hand pass from the mark. And yeah, another contributor there. I think that's his second goal. So South has spread it around. They've got young Tony Toomey on there now. Justin's come off for a rest thanks to Stillwell forward. For Centrals, they really got no answers. Now 45 points to margin is going to be a very disappointing result.
Mackenzie wins it down, coming through, grabbing it with Stewart. Jew gets around Archard. Handball's off to Ware, the last goal scorer for the Dogs. He's at left half forward, shifts up towards 50 and dropping in there and marking it was Clark. Handball's over the top, found Kruger, who goes out wide looking for his teammate there in Haitley. Can he pick it up? He can now, but he's ridden into the ground. Managed to get a handball out though as he's going down to Kruger. Kicked up towards the South Adelaide player there. Central led in the race, but South grabbed the footy. Handball came back towards Kruger. Goes into the middle of the ground and finds Kenner. Got to get some pace going, and he finds Alwyn Davey. He runs from centre half forward to 50. Lines up towards the goals to number 3 and kicks number 3. 3 goals to Alwyn Davey. 3 PDK highlights, every one of them. South 19-7, 121. Central 11-10, 10-10-70, 27 minutes gone this final term. 2 goals from 50 for Alwyn Davey in the last minute. If you remember his first one in the second quarter, he put on the afterburners about 45 from goal, streaked away and kicked it from straight in front.
Let's not forget the good handball by Kenner too, because he was about to be run down by Justin Westhoff, who did a fantastic effort of chasing, but the handball was pinpoint.
And quite often, if you can get the hand pass off while you're being tackled, it's going to free someone else up.
Exactly right. Umpire in the centre throws it up. Up they go. Buckets McKenzie got the tap down. Gives it to Jew. Jew's had a few touches in the last quarter. That pumping left foot of his up towards half forward. Tawney up high, but offhand Jimmy Gound. An underground handball. Ken down his shell. Kick this one. He lines up.
Oh, no.
He missed again.
Oh, no.
I think if he ran into the open goal, the goal umpire's running away to his left-hand side. And through for the minor score to the Doggies. 10-11-71 the Doggies. South Adelaide 19-7, 121.
And those central end-to-enders, usually in their 100, maybe a baker's dozen or stuff, and just stand there in total shock and disbelief at what they've seen down that end this afternoon. As
Thulis takes the mark, a defensive 50, comes to Hanby, who gives on for Clark, who goes for a bit of a run, has a bounce, gets the centre half back and kicks out towards that favoured outer side wing. Was a beautiful kick, and it found the man out there in Tawney for the Panthers. Kicks that's a crucial goal close to three-quarter time. He goes inside 50. Warren went to ground. Coming in Kenner, who's been very good for the Panthers today. Handballs it out towards Haitley, tight on the line. That kick wasn't a good one, and it was marked by Ware. Deep in defence. He kicks up towards half-back. Oh, Kruger nearly pulled in the wonderful one-hander. Taps it back cleverly. This could come off for South as Haitley gives the handball across to Tawney. He goes into the middle of the ground. Clark pulls out a nice little PDK highlight one-hander. In the shadows of full-time, South pulling out some specky stuff in terms of the one-handed grabs. Clark inside 50, out on the lead there, not able to take the mark on that occasion was Smith. And Central have a chance to come away with the ball now from right half back where Slade. Davey, though, put on the pace and ran him down, but Slade got a kick of sorts towards half forward, trapped there by Thulis. Goes with a right foot kick back towards that middle of the ground area where Handley takes the mark. Right on the grandstand side, centre wing position, kicks up towards centre half forward. Dropping in there, Clark takes the mark. Got a couple loose out there, forward 50. Taking the mark was Kruger to Haitley. Handballs over the top to Kenner. He's 35 from goal. He's going to continue the handball possession and gives to Haitley. This time he kicks at the goal, and after... That's an interesting thing from South. They kept working the handball, kept moving it around. Haitley has put through a goal. Another one to South. They're 20th. They're 27-1-21. Central 10-11-71. 27-1-27, should I say. Central 10-11-71. A margin of 56 points. We've played 29.5 in this fourth quarter thanks to Grand Central, and they got there, but they did it the hard way, Phil.
They did. It was almost like, let's do the team thing. Who hasn't got it?
Who hasn't kicked a goal?
Well, that's exactly right. And Haitley's kicked one. He's a goal scorer, number 10 for the Panthers, who have really spread it around this afternoon.
A statistician just informing me, David Clark, 17 possessions in this last quarter.
Oh,
well, I'll tell you what, I've got to give the notes for PDK Player of the Day, and that's, yeah, a big stat to go into consideration.
Okay, the ball out of the centre from the Doggies, but only as far as Surlis, who breaks away. Handballs in the centre, gives it now to that man Clark, who'll get another possession as he handball. Gives it to Haitley, kick the last sausage roll. He goes out the centre wing. A beautiful lead, great kick, and it's Kenner with the ball. He goes over the top. There's Kruger running onto it. He'll go short. The lead is on from Warren. Can he take one? No, hit the hands again, didn't stick. But he follows it up beautifully. Comes, will he keep it in play? No, the boundary umpire said he'd run over the line for a boundary throw-in. Out there on that half-forward flank, out of sight for the Panthers.
Yeah, and we've got a final score quickly, Michael. Port Glenelg.
It was Port Adelaide, 19 goals, 15, 129, defeating Glenelg 10-15, 75 by 54 points.
As the ball back into play between right half forward and the right forward pocket for South Adelaide. Handball comes out for the Dogs. A little bit of 1-2 work there between Dew and Wilson. Wilson kicks out towards the outer side wing and finds Ware. Kruger shuts him down immediately, so Ware has to go back behind his mark. He kicks up towards left half forward. Coming out on the lead there was the South Adelaide player in Thulis. Got in front of McCabe, and he takes the mark at right half back. His side leading by a margin of 56 points, and Josh Thulis chips back to defensive 50 where he's got McGlone.
Oh, that's
and his kick goes right, shanks it across. Dangerous. Coming up was Lee Westhoff. Much taller than Archard. Couldn't handle the mark. Archard got the crumbs. Gave to Bennett. He handballs over the top, and Clark is away and running with possession number 18. Gets a handball to Carlisle just before he's run down, and Carlisle now kicks towards half forward where the pack is setting itself. Oh, through from the side. A good mark there by Wilson for the Dogs. PDK highlight indeed, DB, and he has the ball at right half back.
Yeah, Wilson now will bring it out to centre wing looking for Slade, who takes the mark. So the man once known as Evil Roy got the foot very easy win for South Adelaide. They kicked 9 goals or 8 goals on the last
8 goals won.
8 goals won.
So just 3 goals by the
And the Mayor's Trophy for the first time is going to go to the Panthers.
Well, there you go, the Mayor's Trophy.